tell me what is going on. Seems that everybody's gone crazy. Where have all the dreamers gone? Or have we all just gotten lazy? Something's got to give. There won't be much life left to live. Please send a sign from up above. And if I gotta choose, I choose love. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna make me hate. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna take that away. Ooh, something strange is in the air. Seems that everybody's changing, and I can't find no faith anywhere. Seems it's been replaced with raging. Something's got to give. There won't be much life left to live. Please send a sign from up above. And if I gotta choose, I choose love. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna make me hate. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna take that away. No one can take that from me. I see what I choose to see. Reality is what you make it. So why would I ever choose hatred? I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna make me hate. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna take that away. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna make me hate.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Progressive Action TV show. This is the only place that you're going to get the truth when it comes to how things are really working, especially in this union, TWU Local 100. You know, they are filled with lies. They come prepackaged with lies, this union administration. Prepackaged. That's why they do not like this program. Got my Red Bull. I'm a little tired. Little slightly tired. So I'm gonna drink a little bit of this Red Bull. But it's almost embarrassing at this point. I mean, me putting together this show for today, I'm like, how can the members not see what's going on? How are they oblivious? All the people that the union is using to say yes, are they that oblivious to reality? Are they that gullible? I don't know what's going on. But I'm happy that you guys are here. I need you guys to share out the show. We got to get more and more people involved. We are moving in the right direction right here at Progressive Action, and I'm happy to have you on board. And you guys know the routine. The call-in number is right there. After I finish my monologue of the lies that this union administration is telling, the deceit, the dishonesty, I want to hear from you guys. I want you guys to call in. We have a lot to talk about tonight. And, you know, they give me a lot of ammunition when they decide to record their shop gates. Whenever I get a chance to hear them speak, you know, it's easy to dispute whatever they got going on. It's super easy at this point, and it's becoming routine. And it don't even take a lot of time to actually dispel anything that they saying. Doesn't even take a lot of time. It's pretty easy. I want to start the show off with this clip today by Donald Yates. And this clip right here that I'm about to play should be enough for you to vote no. Let's listen to this clip by Donald Yates. And listen carefully. It's 5 seconds long.
Most of our people who work here survive off of overtime. And if they had to do...
Did you guys just hear what he said? Did you guys just hear what he said? I want to play it. I want to play it again. Check it out.
Most of our people who work here survive off of overtime. And if they had to do...
You have the vice president of buses in Manhattan and the Bronx say that most people survive here for overtime. That's problematic, right? Because the day that management starts setting up the pieces to take away that overtime, how are you going to survive, right? And management already started setting up the pieces. All this Bronx redesign, Brooklyn redesign, Queens redesign, Manhattan redesign is for the company to become more efficient and save money. It's not to put more money in your pocket. And what they doing with these redesigns, with these Arctic buses, is that these Arctic buses are run killers. They take money away from you. And you're going to be subjected to 8 hours a day working because this is what Arctic buses do, right? But for a vice president to say a lot of members survive off of overtime, I mean, why would you vote yes to this contract when this contract is not going to change that? You're going to have to do more overtime for the simple fact cost of living is up, inflation is up, rent is up, everything is up. So if management can't provide you overtime, then you not go survive. Why would you vote yes for this contract? It's mind-boggling to me as to why anyone would want to vote yes to this contract. Now, this next post I want to get into, it's by Vice President Eric Logel, right? I said Vice President. Let me take that back. Former Vice President, lapdog now, gopher, serves no purpose. He went on a lying spree yesterday and started talking about the PBA, right? So let's examine what Mr. Logel said. We may have gotten 4% plus if we were willing to make some of the same concessions other unions did. PBA, for example, agreed to a 10 and 12-hour workday pilot. Now, that is true. The PBA did agree to a 10 and 12 hour workday pilot. He's making it seem like, well, we would have got 4% if we would have agreed to that. What they not telling you, see, this is the part that makes me so upset. They act like we don't have these things, right? They act like we don't have smartphones. They act like we can't do the research ourselves. We can't Google things, right? And they want us to believe every single word that they have to say. They want us to follow them blindly, right? But what they did not tell you about this pilot program, and I'm going to read it. The pilot program will see cops patrol for longer hours from 10 to 12 hours and in return work 60 fewer days a year. The NYPD says that program prioritizes officer health and mental well-being, since uniform personnel will be able to spend more time with their families, right? Can somebody tell me where is the concession in that? Where is the concession in that? And I'm going to pull this up on the screen again. Eric Logel said, we may have gotten 4% plus if we were willing to make some of the same concessions other unions did. And he used the PBA as an example. Can someone explain to me how working 60 fewer days a year, no change in your money, spending more time with your family, keeping your mental health intact, how is that a concession? Somebody tell me, please. How is that a concession? But these are the lies that they are running with to try to get you to vote yes for a contract. And like I said, it is pretty insulting. It is insulting for them to try to play us like that. That shows that they are dishonest. That shows that they are not union men and women. They are company men and women. And company men and women does management's bidding. That's who they are. And I got probably about 8 clips of them doing management's bidding yesterday. Yes. And we're going to discuss it. We're going to discuss it. And not only that, let me bring this up too. This is also talking about the 10 and 12 hour police workday program, pilot program. It says we're going to monitor you. We're going to check your health and wellness to make sure these tours are conducive to your lifestyles. But look at what we have. We have a modern chart that is used by other police departments, and they work effectively. Fewer appearances, longer tours, but more time with your family and friends with no compromise to public safety. It is about ensuring that we give you the tools that we can give you to make the city safe and make your lives better. Once again, people, once again, to my transit family and everyone that's watching, where is the concession in that? But meanwhile, let's go back to this video. Let's go back to this video. What did he say here?
Most of our people who work here survive off of overtime. And if they had to do...
Once again, most of our people that work here survive off of overtime. So meanwhile, the police officers, they got a pilot program to do 60 less days at work for longer hours, which I would do, right? Because everybody is not in here for overtime. Some people, families mean more to them. Some people is here just for the benefits and would do the bare minimum. The police officers did a good thing by their officers. They didn't lose no pay. Still top pay, 130-some thousand a year, and fewer less days. I mean, that sounds like a great deal to me, but leave it to this union administration. It's the worst thing ever. Now we're gonna get into these video clips right now. And the first clip is Chiarello talking about how much the contract is worth. Let's play this clip, then we go get into the discussion.
With the raises, and I'm going to get into it, but the package itself has an overall value with the wages and the benefits that we talk about. I call those the sprinkles or the extras. The total value of the contract is over $870 million, nearly $1 billion. A 1% raise in our contract, 1%, is close to $38 million, almost $39 million. So this is not small ball, this is all big stuff. And
this, first of all, why would the members even care how much our contract is worth? It means absolutely nothing. We only care about the wage percentages, our health care, and whatever else you give us or get us or negotiate for us, right? That's what we don't care how much management spent on this contract. That's doing management bidding, right? But since you want to talk about it, Let's talk about it. You said it was $870 million, the total worth of the contract, right? That's not $870 million a year, right? That's not $870 million a month. That's $870 million for 3 years, which means that if you divide that by 3, it's $290 million a year, right? One thing they don't tell you is that the MTA makes $46 million a day, right? A lot of people don't know that. The MTA makes $46 million a day. In 30 days, the MTA could pay for our contract in 1 month. They could pay for our contract alone in 1 month. So what does that $870 million have to do with anything? And then not only that, I want to bring this up for you guys just to show you what's really going on here. Like, oh yeah, let me put this on the screen real quick so you guys can see. Yeah, $870 million. Well, let's talk about this. Fare evasion in 2021, and let me pull this up on the screen. See it right there. You see me using the cursor. Fare evasion in 2021 was $500 million. In 2022, it was $690 million. We talking about $1.1 billion in fare evasion right there. If the MTA was serious about collecting fares and this union administration was focused on holding the MTA accountable, we would be in a better place, right? We would be in a way better place. So fare evasion in 2 years is worth more than our contract in 3 years. How does that make sense? Right? But they continuously do management bidding when it comes to things like that. Now, the next video I want to get into is Richie Davis talking about the Medicare option. I want you guys to really listen to this. Like, this is insane, the things that he's saying. And he's saying them boldly, proudly, because he thinks that he could get away with it. So let's check it out.
Your benefits, option 1 is what I just said to you. Option 2 has a $2,000 reimbursement for you and a $2,000 reimbursement for your family, for your spouse, not your family. You or your spouse, $2,000 each was a $4,000 check. You could choose to go into that option, but it's a risk because if you're a sickly person, there's co-pays in the option, right? Option 1 is no co-pays. If you know you go to the doctor frequently, you go to option 1. If you don't, you go to option 2. You play Russian roulette because the $15 copay will keep deducted from your $2,000 and you'll start losing your money. But if you know you're in good health when you leave here, you're good to go. You take the second option. The city plan is inferior to our plan, completely inferior. It is not like our plan. The city plan has no option. They go into one plan. And so the transit authority came into that room and said, they want to put us all in the CPPO. We said no. We created 2 options. And again, this is only if you're 65 and over and retired. That's the only way this change affects you. 55 years old and retire, you have the same benefits, the same coverage, and even more according to the new plans we just negotiated.
I mean, this is absurd. This is sickening. So he negotiated a contract with healthcare in it, and if you are a sickly person, right, it's a risk if you go to option 2. Think about that. If you are a sickly person, as if people know when they're going to get sick, how they're going to get sick, the duration of their sickness. So he claimed that we got the best health benefits or whatever the case is, and this is for the retirees, right? But if you choose option 2, you're playing Russian roulette, right? You're playing Russian roulette if you choose option 2. What kind of craziness is that? That you got the union president saying, hey, if you're sickly or whatever the case is, this is a bad choice. But, if you're not sick, I mean, this is This is pretty absurd, man. Like, I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. Oh, and to my bus operators, this next clip that I'm about to play, you guys better listen to this. He's doing management's work. I mean, I if I wouldn't have known any better, I would have thought that a superintendent was given a shop gate today. Oh, yesterday when he did this video. So let's check out this next clip. Bus operators, play close attention.
On the line, let's take the B35, right? That used to have short buses. They took away the short buses and they put Arctic. But for every 5 short buses, they want to replace it with 3 Arctics. That means you lose two bodies in 2 months automatically. They're going to continue doing this system throughout all the boroughs because they do the redesign. Like they did in the Bronx, they're going to go to Queens, they're going to go to Brooklyn. And they're going to use more Arctic buses than normal to do those lines for cost savings and also for scheduling purposes. That's what they're going to do moving forward. And another addition, the next 5 years.
If that's not doing management's bidding, I don't know what it is. He said that he admits that the Arctics is going to cut runs. But guess what? You getting paid an extra $2 to drive an Arctic bus. A union president goes in front of the members and do a shop gate and say, hey, you know, with the redesign, the Arctics, they're going to cut jobs. So if you know that these Arctics is going to cut jobs, what is the union doing to retain these jobs? Oh, no, it's not about retention. We go give you an extra $2 because we know that transit workers jump for a penny. Definitely $2. They ain't gonna be. I could see them now when they came up with that with management. Oh man, the bus operators gonna love this. They're gonna get an extra $2 to drive a bus that's gonna take away their runs, that's gonna take away their overtime. You know, the same overtime that Donald Yates said that you would need to survive. This is insanity. This is insanity. The Brooklyn bus redesign, he says it. All these redesigns in these different boroughs, they are increasing the Arctics. The Arctics cut runs. Not only does it cut runs, but it cuts the jobs. This is insanity that they didn't even provide protection for bus operators, this contract, and retention alone. But hey, I guess every contract, they'll give you an extra $1 or $2 towards your own demise. They need to go back to the table and definitely figure that one out. Like they didn't even have the sense to say, you know what, the Arctic pay is going to be for your whole spread, not only vehicle time. They didn't even consciously, they couldn't even consciously do that. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't even consciously do that. Let's get into the next clip. And this one is from, sad to say, Latanya Crisp. But let's get into it.
When you're out. So we're here to like dispel some rumors like, okay, yes, we had it. Yes, we had it in writing, but no one in TWU on the transit side has ever paid into it. Today, you would have to pay $399.47. And that would be an annual amount that you would pay. And it would come out of your salary bi-weekly. Because we would have to have gone back retroactive to 2016 in order for us to get the benefit, which would pay $1,190 for you to achieve that, which would be your 67% because we've actually maxed out on what we actually get paid.
Now, let's be clear. They are not there to dispel any rumors at all. They are there to spread lies and deceit, right? Now, it disturbs me that to see, specifically speaking, Latanya, full steam ahead of stripping paid family leave, right? Now, with the union, what they attempted to do this contract, with stripping paid family leave, right, in favor of maternity and paternity leave, is that they try to make it a women's issue, right? Oh, this is the first time that women, have 12 weeks. They get it at run pay. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I am happy that women are finally being recognized as women and given some dignity and respect. But let's be clear about this. It did not have to come at the behest of stripping paid family leave. It did not have to come of that, right? And the union got this, and the MTA was willing to do it because it saves the MTA millions of dollars, right? Now, LaTanya was being dishonest and sleight of hand about a lot of the things there, right? And, they try to throw these big numbers. You're going to have to pay $399.47 every year. And, the average person will be like, damn, $399. I don't know about that. I don't need no extra money coming out my check. We hear that all the time. But when you think about $399.47, we get paid 26 times a year. It's 52 weeks in the year. We get paid bi-weekly 26 times, right? You divide that $399.47 to 26, it end up being like $15 a paycheck, right? We need money. Don't get it twisted. We need money, but $15 a paycheck for us to have paid family leave, right? I don't see what the issue with that is. Now, the next thing they go say, but you want to know, you're only going to get paid 67% of your check. I want to explain that. There's people out there who don't want to have no more kids, men and women, right? The majority of this membership are not having kids, right? They're not thinking about having no kids or whatever the case is, right? In the contract, it doesn't say it covers adoption or anything, right? It just says, for the woman, right? The old rules probably, it still applies, so probably it covers the adoption, right? But the problem is that people got more going on in their lives besides, having kids. People got elderly parents they need to take of. They have sickly children. They have sickly family members. They got family that's in the service, the military, and things like that. So everybody here is not trying to have kids, right? So what about the people who have that family member that they need to take paid family leave for, and let's say it's only paying 67%. What are they to do now? What happens now? Right? So now we don't have it in the contract. You have a sick parent or whatever the case is. We don't have it in the contract. So now you don't have, let's say you have no sick time. First of all, you can't use sick time to take care of a sick family member. You can't do that, right? But let's say you have no AVA, no OTO, no vacation. What are you getting paid? What are you getting paid? You're not getting paid nothing. So in return for a very small portion of transit workers who's having children, compared to something that could affect everyone with paid family leave, it benefit everyone, right? The union decides to forego that and make this a women issue. And then what they go say is that, any man speaking against this is misogynistic, and this is a win for the women. They trying to use women as a moral issue, when this issue should have been figured out years ago, and it should not have come at the expense of stripping down paid family leave. That's not what should have happened, and that is the symptom of a weak leadership. So that what they really saying is that if the state would have never came up with paid family leave back in 2016, women wouldn't have no real maternity leave. right? I'm not really worrying about the men, to be honest. But the women, it takes time for them to physically recover. That time is needed. Yes, that 12 weeks is needed, without a doubt. But if we didn't have paid family leave, guess what? The women wouldn't have had no real maternity leave. That's what they saying. That's what they saying, right? But if you got something else going on in your life where you're not trying to have kids, you got to take care of a sick family member or whatever, forget FMLA, because that's paid family leave enhances everything, right? Now you got no time. You getting nothing. But this is the contract that the union decided to negotiate. And I also don't believe that she's saying that, oh, you know, if we opt into it now, it's gonna get retro back to 2016. That's BS. Picture you joining a gym, right? Or you joining some type of club or fraternity, and the club opened up or the gym opened up in 2015. You joining right now in 2023, and the gym say, hey, you know what? You got to pay back from the time that we first started this, or you can't be a member. You can't join this. That's illegal. That don't even sound right. That don't even, picture you join this union and this union say, hey, you know what? You joined in September. We got to retro your union dues back to January 1st. Even though you wasn't a part of this situation or whatever the case is, we got to retro your union dues to January 1st because now you're a part of the union. Like, and she got the nerve to regurgitate that craziness. Now, I ain't gonna lie, man. I am very, very, very disappointed in LaTanya. I am very disappointed in her, right? But she is a part of that gang. I cannot ignore that. And we must pay attention to what's going on here. They only call LaTanya to entertain the show. They use her as the MC, the hype girl. She has a very prominent voice. It's very strong. It sounds very positive, right? But they use her, and she wants to be used, right? Because, and this is just being honest, because I like LaTanya, but sis, where you was at during all these women issues? Why we never see you with a microphone when it comes to women's issues? Why we never see you on video talking about and pushing a women's agenda? But when it's time for them to use you up at lobby day to get the crowd hype, up at the mass membership meetings to get the crowd hype, and you was missed there because the person they tried to fill you in just didn't work, right? But where are you on these issues? But as soon as they need a black woman to sell out this membership, you are front and center. You are ready, willing, and able to take that torch to hurt these members, right? And I actually got a recording for you to listen to from your, I don't know what kind of situation is going on with you and Richie Davis, but Richie Davis do not mess with you. I got a recording so you can see how he really feel about you, right? But since you pushing that agenda or whatever the case is, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. The chips go forward where they may. Let me tell y'all something about this union stuff. It's all fake. It's all theater. None of them really like each other. They tolerate each other, right? They tolerate each other. They don't even like each other. And in this business, you will have a whole bunch of people who don't like each other, but will form an alliance because they don't mess with you, right? So somebody like me, LaTanya and Richie don't like each other. That's a fact. And Richie told me, LaTanya, I'll let you listen to it, right? They don't even mess with each other. But you see things like this. You see that they are willing to come together to sell out this contract because they know one thing. They have one thing in common. They don't want to go back to their bus. They don't want to go back to their trains. They don't want to go back to their platforms, to their booths. They have that in common. And that in common is enough to bring them together to fight against the truth tellers of this union, right? It's enough for them to come together, because the reality is, if they don't got enough time to retire, they don't want to get back on the bus. Picture that. They'll say it all day. Oh, I don't mind going back to my tools, and I love the bus. I love my job. Well, you fight like hell to sell out the members, right? It's all BS, right? It's all BS. Let's get into the next clip. Oh, another Chiarello clip. Let's get into it.
Seeing it everywhere I go. When was the last time we received a 3% raise? It's been more than 15 years. And when Richard talks about no concessions, no givebacks, this is a clean.
These guys are so foolish. They don't even know when they're indicting themselves. He said, when the last time we got a 3% raise? Chiarello, you want to know the last time we got a 3% raise? The last time we got a 3% raise is when Stand United wasn't leading this union. You know, the team that you from? That's an indictment. Picture that, people. When the last time we had a 3% raise? About 15 years ago? When they wasn't in power. As soon as Stand United get in power in this union, our raises drop, our respect drop, discipline goes up, the disrespect of members from supervision goes up, all because we are being led by weak people. See, people could have their reservations on Roger Toussaint all they want, and I have some reservations for him myself, but he was a good leader, right? He was fearless. He was willing to strike. He was willing to bring it to the bosses. You cannot take that away from him. You cannot take that away from him. But no buts with him. But messing with Stand United, that's the last time. Or with Roger was the last time that we got 3% raises. Picture that, right? That was an indictment on themselves, right? And they keep saying that there's no concessions. Paid family leave was a concession. Them not implementing it, what it is, or getting more out of it, that was a concession, right? Now, there wasn't no concessions on paper. See, and this remind me of, just to go segue a little bit, right? People think that someone who snitches or someone who's a rat, all of them write statements. That's what they think. Like, oh, I heard you were snitching. I'm gonna go look at your paperwork. Not all snitches is on paper or have paperwork, right? So what the union is doing is saying, well, there's no concessions. So you look at the paper and you be like, look at the contract, you be like, damn, you know what? There's no concessions. But there's things that they did not get for us. Let's look at MTA Bus. Shout out to all my MTA bus operators. Did y'all know, and I'm speaking to everyone about MTA Bus, MTA Bus still don't have sick days. 2023, MTA Bus workers do not have sick days. Their sick leave is insane. Why didn't the union give that? That wasn't a concession. It was they just didn't fight for it. So in my book, that was a concession, even though it's not on paper, right? MTA Bus, I believe, don't start getting paid for their swing time until after 2.5 hours. Picture that, right? We not getting hazard pay was a concession. No COLA was a concession. 3%, anything under 8% raises was a concession, considering what happened these past 3 years in inflation, right? There's so many things. Not getting us more days off. Not getting 5 weeks vacation after 5 years like all the other city agencies. Longevity pay being peanuts. All of these are concessions. These are things that we deserve. If we was to get our proper night differential alone, do you know how much of a boost that would give transit workers? We're a 24/7 system. Do you know how much of a boost that will give transit workers? So yes, there wasn't no concessions that you could read on paper, But there was concessions of things that they did not get us because they was afraid to fight management. Let's not forget how they was doing these rallies all through the system. They was more like outings. They was more like field trips. This union administration was afraid to fight. And this contract that we have that's being offered to us is reflective of a union administration who was afraid to fight. Nothing in that contract signals that they put up a fight for us. Not one damn thing in that contract signals that they put up a fight for us. Not one. Right? Let's get into the next clip, man. These people are out of line. Out of line. Let's see what the next clip is. Oh, this is crazy right here. I don't know why he would say this, but Richie, he's uncouth. Like, I just don't get it. Let's get it.
Then the Medicare Advantage plan. So how are you against a plan that you're in? Right? That's the first problem. The second problem, the person, I'm allowed to make changes to the president. I'm going to do that. Whether you like it or not, I'm going to make changes. And I made a change to remove that person, and that person was stealing money, doing all sorts of stuff according to what we did, and did an audit in the place. And because they want to stay there,
That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. I mean, it's it's honestly mind-blowing. You know, Richie Davis, he's too emotional to lead anything, right? He's too he can't even lead a Boy Scouts, let alone a labor union. I mean, he's uncouth, he's emotional. He just cannot help himself. Why would he go in front of members, right, and make an unsubstantiated claim about someone stealing money, right? Because let's think about this. You want to know what, Richie? I'm gonna say this. If and I don't know Mike Tutrone. I'm not trying to push his agenda, whatever he has going on. But I say this, Richie. If Mike Tutrone, because everybody know who you was talking about, everybody know who you fired, right? It's we know what's going on here, right? If Mike Tutrone, you say you did an audit, if he was stealing money, we want him arrested. If he was stealing our money or the retirees' money, you need to get his ass arrested. And if he wasn't, and you just made that claim, guess what? You just put the union in the lawsuit. That's one hell of a claim to make, to say that you did an audit and this person was stealing money and they not under arrest. Stealing from a union is a federal crime. Right? It's a federal crime. You say you did an audit, we make that audit available to us members. And I think that you should take the appropriate action. I think that you should take the appropriate action, because if you did not do that and you don't have no proof that this man was stealing money, that's called slander and libel. That's what that's called, right? And being the fact that you guys didn't make no moves to hold them accountable, not even trying to take him to court. But like I said, that's a crime to steal money from a labor union. One of two things gonna happen. Either you're gonna get sued and you're gonna hurt this union because you are emotional. You are not steady on your feet. You're gonna cost us a lot of money. We already see the money that you costing us this contract, saving the MTA billions of dollars on the backs of transit workers. And now your mouth, Chatty Patty. That's what we probably gonna call you now, Chatty Patty. You uncouth at the mouth. You're going to get a suit. And I hope Mike Tutrone see this video so he could take the appropriate action. You said that he was stealing. And I want to see you hold him accountable. Let's get to the next clip. Let me see. Oh, this one gonna blow y'all mind. This one is going to blow y'all mind. Check this one out.
One more last thing. What we did get in there is people are supposed to come to work 261 days a year. If right now they can come to work 196. If I was able to encourage you somehow to come to work 5 more days, right? Like I'm gonna go around making sure we clean the swim room, redo the swim room outside, have lactation. All this is in the contract. You can look at it, it's in there. On the pilot program in November, we're gonna pick 5 locations, not depots, 5 locations of boroughs, and start redoing them, renovation, changing the lighting, changing the depots, to try to make you feel like you want to be here. Because if I was to get it from 196 to 5 more days to 501, for each day from 202, the transit saved $16 million, they'll give me back not me in my pocket, but $8 million for each day to use back towards the contract right now. So I wanted a selfish motive. I wanted 100%.
This is wild crazy. So this is your president. This is not management. I don't want y'all, for those who's tuning in, I know a lot of people is pretty new to these faces and these names. That was not a manager talking. That was your union president. Your union president. I mean, this is another mind-blowing clip right here. Right? So instead of Richie Davis advocating for us to get more time off of work, he does management work and trying to find a way to get us to come to work more. So, I mean, instead of getting us 5 weeks vacation after 5 years, instead of getting us mental health days, instead of getting us more AVA, OTO, more and trying to increase the day off quota in these various departments, he sits down with management and says, hey, I agree with this idea. You know, if we renovate their crew rooms and their swing rooms and, you know, we add some lights, we could get transit workers to come to work more. You know, we got to come to work 261 days and, you know, we below that. And if we work together to get the members to come to work more, you know, in this unsafe environment where people are getting shot on their trains, where transit workers are having guns pulled out on them, transit workers are being beat up, stabbed. If we could get them to come here to this unsafe environment even more, we will split the profits. So if we get 16 million or they get an increase in 16 million, we will get 8. You heard how he slipped up and said, in my pocket, oh no, I mean, the member, he had it right the first time, right? Because we would never see no benefit of that money. You know what they would do? They will do something at Family Day. They would do something like that. This does not benefit the members. This does not benefit the members. You have your union president. I got to play that again. I have to play that again. Where's that clip? I have to play that again. Let's listen closely to this, please.
One more last thing. What we did get in there is people are supposed to come to work 261 days a year. If right now they can come to work 196. If I was able to encourage you somehow to come to work 5 more days, right? Like I'm gonna go around making sure we clean the swim room, redo the swim room outside, have lactation. All this is in the contract. You can look at it, it's in there. On the pilot program in November, we're gonna pick 5 locations, not depots, 5 locations of boroughs, and start redoing them, renovation, changing the lighting, changing the depots, to try to make you feel like you want to be here. Because if I was to get it from 196 to 5 more days to 501, for each day from 202, the transit saved $16 million, they'll give me back not me in my pocket, but $8 million for each day to use back towards the contract right now. So I wanted a selfish motive. I wanted 100%.
He said, if I could encourage you to come to work more. He's all about getting us to work more instead of keeping us away from this place. Right? So they made, just for the people who just joined the program, the union was trying to say, I got to bring this back up again. The union was trying to say that the pilot program with the cops from 10 to 12 hours was a concession, but they work in 10 to 12 hours longer shifts so they could work 60 fewer days a year. Meanwhile, our union is trying to encourage us to come to work more times a year, right? This is who they are. This is who they are. They are not, this administration are not union men and women. They are company men and women, right? They do management bidding. They don't do, what bidding have they done for the members? I'm about to start taking phone calls, by the way, so you guys can start calling in live, 563-999-3714. Just stay in, I will keep you in the queue, and I will get to you when I'm fully done with my monologue, right? But what bidding are they doing? They not doing the bidding of the members. They are doing the bidding of management. They are doing management's bidding. What union president on earth say, I want to get my members to come to work more? Who says that? That's not what a union president says. That's what a company union president says. I mean, this is wild. This is wild upsetting. Oh, I found this to be funny. This next clip that I'm gonna play. For those who didn't see it, I'll play it in a few. But this is what he had to say about this right here. Check this clip out.
Thank you. So, I'm not going to go into the Facebook stories because yesterday I was running in the Pride Parade and I got a little video myself this morning. It's very interesting. So, I'm okay with that. So, I'm wearing pink. I'm not afraid to show you anything. So, it's fine. Unfortunately, people...
He said he was running in the Pride Parade and, a video, interesting video. I mean, yo, Richie, you got to do something about your social media team, your video editors, the angles that they take. They doing a horrible job. They doing a horrible job. I mean, I could pick out, I could do a whole show on the bad angles that your video person is doing. And they putting you in the bad light. So a video was created of Richie Davis. Well, it wasn't even really created. His own social media team put out that clip and it was sent to me. But I find this to be very strange. Now, I don't want people, some people will be like, oh, it's a phobic. I don't want to say what kind of phobic because, social media get a little crazy. But I don't care where he was at. He could have been running for a bus. He could have been running for church. With this stuff right here, you got to have a sense of humor in it, especially from my point of view, right? You have to have some type of sense of humor because this stuff will beat you down. If you let it get to you, it will beat you down. It will stress you out, especially with the level that I handle it on, right? It will depress you. It will make you not want to do anything, not want to be involved. So sometimes you have to laugh. Sometimes you have to joke about some of these things. But this video that Richie Davis is talking about, it was very hilarious. I have never seen someone run the way he ran. Like, I can't even run like that if I tried. Some people can't even, like, I can't imagine. I tell one of my friends, yo, can you run like this? And they be like, yo, nah, I can't do that. Like, how your body part even contort like that? But check this out. This is funny. Yo, look, who runs like that? What's going on here? Yo. Oh man, yo, when they sent me that clip, that was funny. That was funny. That was definitely funny. But what's not funny is this contract. What's not funny is them not addressing the safety issues in our workplace. What's not funny are these wage percentages. What's not funny is what they doing to the retirees. What's not funny is that we don't get COLA. What's not funny is that we don't have night differential of what other city agencies have. What's not funny is them going on a tour from depot to depot, crew room, wherever they could find, and members are there saying yes to a contract that they probably do not even understand. I find it to be it's disturbing. They are traders. They are not men, union men and women. They are company men and women, and we must put an end to it. The way that we put an end to it is that we must vote no this contract. Let me get to the first caller.
Back.
Caller 1173.
Hey, yo, what up, Tramel?
What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from?
I can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me, but this is Brother Lenard from NYC.
I hear you.
Again, I can't hear anything. I don't know if you can hear me.
I hear you.
Hello, hello.
Yeah. Let me.
Hello, hello.
Let me see. He said he can't hear me. Let me fix this real quick. Let me turn that back on. Hold on. Let me see if it works. Stay right there. Stay right there. Yeah. These people. Oh, he hung up. These people are insane, man. These people are insane. These people are insane. They are not for the members. They are not for the members. If something is wrong with the phone line, if I click you on, just say what you got to say and then hang up. I don't know. Let me check something real quick. But this is they are not for us. I don't know what you have to see, what you have to do. Let me see if this video play real quick so I could hear it. Let me see.
Come back.
Oh yeah, the video works. But let me see if I could get him now. Let me see what's going on here. Hey, my brother, can you hear me?
Again, I don't know if you can hear me.
Can you hear me?
What's going on, Brother Tramel? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hello, hello, hello.
He can't hear me. I don't know why.
Hello, hello, hello. I don't know what they're doing, but the communications, I can't hear anything.
All right, I'm not go. If somebody else calling and they can't hear me, maybe I will reset my my system. Let me see something. Maybe I'll do it now. Let me restart my computer.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Let me restart my computer. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes things happen. Matter of fact, while I'm doing that, while I'm waiting for my computer to restart, I want to get into some more clips. I want to get into this clip. Oh, hold on one second. Let me cut off my computer. Let me see. Shut down. I want to get into this clip by Charles Barron, where he calls out union leaders, specifically speaking black union leaders. I find it to be interesting what he's saying, but I want to shut down my computer first. Let me shut down my computer before I get into that. All right, let me get into this Charles Barron clip, and then we're going to discuss it. Check it out.
I rise today to make sure that grandchild has health when they finish working and be retired. So I want to make sure that we do that. I'm putting forth a bill today, introducing a bill that will give our retirees a choice. We'll give them a choice to say, I might want to keep my senior care. And if you're going to give us any other care, it has to be equal to what I have or even better. So right now, we're putting forth that bill. And I just want to clarify this information. The Medicare Advantage under Aetna is unacceptable to our retirees for several reasons. One, you have to pay co-payments. Two, by the way, you won't be taken away from collective bargaining agreement. That's a bunch of nonsense. Two, we'll be able to have choices so that when they're in their continued living care, that they'll be able to use that, because Medicare Advantage is not accepted in many places. So we don't want to go from not paying premiums, not paying co-payments, being accepted everywhere, having a broad base of services provided, not some superficial stuff to make it look like you have something. So I think the union leadership has been irresponsible to their rank and file members by saying that this bill is bad. This is a good bill, and it's the irresponsibility of the union leadership to say that they will co-partner with Aetna. Aetna doesn't allow unionization. Since when do unions partner with people who don't provide unionization? And Aetna, every black leader that has supported Aetna, shame on you. They insured black people who were enslaved for the slaveholder. They owe us reparations. They admitted it, apologized, but said they're not giving any reparations. And I'll just end with this, just the council members that supported us. I want to thank Lynn Shulman, who supported us. I want to also thank Councilmember Martin, Councilmember Lee Aviles, Councilmember Bernakoff, and so many others who are on board now. And I'd like for you all to get on board and support this. Don't be fearful.
Thank you, Councilmember. We'll now go to Councilmember Brewer, followed by Councilmember Benitez.
I want y'all to write in the comments and let me know what you guys think about that. I'm trying to set up the phone line again just to see if it's going to work. But I want you guys to let me know what you think in the comments. Hold on a second. Let me get this going. Charles Barron was like the black union leader sold people out. I find that to be very profound.
Now, press 1. To hear important instructions, press 2.
Your show is scheduled to start in 21 seconds.
Let's get the phone line back popping. So y'all see the call-in number 563-999-3714. I just want to see if the phone lines is going so I can hear what you guys got to say. But Charles Barron calling out saying that Aetna was they was insuring slaves. I did some research on that and I did find that. And he was calling out the black union leaders. They should be embarrassed. Richie Davis, do you feel embarrassed? Do you have a soul? Do you have a conscience? Do you have a soul? Do you have a conscience? You guys call back in 563-999-3714. Charles Barron introduced the bill to stop the Medicare Advantage situation. And I want to show you guys a clip from this book that I'm reading. And I want to read it to you because we do have a problem with the leadership, especially black leadership. Black leadership is suspect, especially when they moving like how this union administration is moving. Let me get to this caller real quick. Let me see if he can hear me. Caller 1173, now live on Progressive Action TV. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, brother. How you doing?
I'm good. Let's get this rolling. What is on your mind, my brother?
All right, first of all, this is Brother Lenore from NYC. Yo, I'm glad when you started the show and you talked about how transit makes $46 million a day. All right, I keep telling you, y'all got to follow the money. You know what I'm saying? That comes to a grand total of $16,560 million a year. Okay, and that's just a stab at it. You know, that's just a stab off the top of my head. But that's just from transit. Don't forget, transit gets money from taxi limousine commission and all that. Every time somebody gets in a cab, I think $2.80 goes to transit. So y'all got to start putting those slices of cake together to find out the money that this conglomerate or this association authority is bringing in, okay? And y'all got to follow that money. And y'all got to do y'all due diligence. I mean, like you said, with those 3% raises and stuff like that, they're not even touching. And I spoke about this on your last call. They're not even touching the inflation. Don't forget, everything is going up. You getting more for less. They want you to do more work for less pay. And everything's going up. Congestion prices, hey, y'all going to be driving into the city. Y'all going to be coming out. Y'all going to be, they talking about $23 to come into Manhattan. How y'all going to live on 3%? And then everybody you're talking about PD and the fire department and all that. Even though their structure is different, I mean, because you got firemen, they work 3 days on, 4 days off. I mean, they work 36, 40 hours. But the fact of the matter is, they got places where they can rest and change and do everything else. Y'all stuck in them buses, y'all stuck in them trains, y'all stuck in those booths and stuff like that. They get their overtime in increments after 8 hours. I mean, officer locks up a criminal, he get 4 or 5 hours overtime just to sit there and do paperwork. You understand? So y'all have to understand each place is different. I mean, even though they're putting in the hours, they still getting their time off to rest. Even though they're working, then they're going to be working 10 and 12-hour tours. They're going to be working less days, like you said. So they're going to be working 305 days instead of 365 days. And then on top of that, they're going to have their vacation and everything else. But the fact of the matter is, y'all got to follow this money. See where all the money's coming in to mass transit from everywhere. Not just buses and subways and everything else. You understand? It's more than y'all think. And y'all getting little pieces of the pie. The last thing I'm going to say is, Tramel, you got to stop drinking those Red Bulls because they're going to give you arterial fibrillation.
Wait, hold on. Look, to be honest with you, I only drink the Red Bulls when I do this show. So I drink one Red Bull a week. It gives me wings, and then I get shot down in about 2 hours after I drink it. So I just needed to get through the show. I was real tired today.
All right. And then another thing too, the last time I looked, there was like maybe 67 listeners on this call. Progressive needs to have, and I think I shot you a message or something. Progressive Action needs to have a membership blitz. You understand? There should be thousands of people on this call. You understand? These 60, 70 people that's on this call right now, like, share, donate to the platform. I don't understand how people don't care about their jobs and their livelihoods. I'm not talking about the 60, 70 people that's on this call. Okay? I'm talking about the people who are your colleagues, your peers, your friends, your family, in all departments. Even retirees need to be on this call. When Charles Barron said that they're going to put together a bill, and when Tramel said everybody here who's working at transit are future retirees, so that means retirees supposed to have a voice and they're supposed to be at the table when it comes down to any contract negotiation. I keep telling everybody that y'all need to learn about collective bargaining agreements. Y'all need to learn about critical writing and critical thinking. And y'all need to know what you should have automatically and what you should fight for to enforce, reinforce, or get. And then what you are willing to do in order for them to back down and give in and give up. And your voice is power. If you don't get involved in your livelihood that feeds you, that pays for your family, your bills, your investments, your homes, your vehicles, and everything else, nobody's going to do that for you. They're going to continue to take away from you chip by chip, bit by bit. So if you stand for nothing, you will fall for anything. And right now, y'all are falling for a lot. Y'all are falling for a lot. And transit is taking all this money to the bank. You understand? all of this, all of the big boys, the upper echelons, they getting bonuses, they getting $250,000 paychecks and all that other stuff. I mean, they're gallivanting. The union is running around spending union dues, like it's nothing, sending y'all to ride playland and stuff like that. What type of stuff is that? You could go to ride playland on your day off. To hell with a family day. Put it in your check. Put it in my check. I'll take my family on vacation. We'll do our own family day. You understand? I'll invite some people over and we'll have a cookout. You know what I'm saying? Put the money in a check. Put your money where your mouth is. Simple as that. So, with that, hey, listen, I'm going to wish y'all luck. I retired in 98. I'm double dipping. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't hurting, but I mean, damn. When are y'all going to realize that the shepherds that's in charge of the flock that are keeping y'all in line are doing y'all a disservice? Where are the whistleblowers? Where are the investigative journalists? They call y'all the conspiracy theorists. Well, if everybody's saying the same damn thing, somebody else got to be wrong. Somebody else got to be wrong. If Tramel is telling the truth and y'all listen to somebody else that's telling y'all something else and the lies are being exposed, the deceit and everything else is coming to fruition. You see this. I mean, the leopard ain't changing the spots. The hyena is laughing at you while they eating your guts out. Think about that. With that, I'm going to say peace. I wish y'all luck. There needs to be thousands of people on this call because there's thousands of people that work for transit. Hey, that's about all I got to say, yo. With that, you have a good night, brother.
I appreciate you, man. Thanks for calling in.
All right, peace.
He always calls in and he drops some real knowledge, and he said a lot. He's right. When you look at other jobs, you look at the teachers, you look at the police officers, you look at FDNY. Whenever they have something going on, a lot of them be involved. We have thousands of transit workers. These programs, and not only mine, there's other people in transit who do live streams and who do shows and things of that nature. I mean, Progressive Action have the most numbers. We have the biggest platform, but there should be way more, right? There should be way more people paying attention to these shows. These shows should be shared out no less than 200-300 times, right? Retweeted. They should be, if I look at the shares on Facebook, they should be in the hundreds, right? Because there are thousands of workers. I mean, even when you look at the union website and their propaganda, their numbers be poor, right? We got the biggest platform, Progressive Action. We got the biggest platform in all of transit, bigger than the union. But for some reason, transit workers are not too interested in their future, right? And that's one of the depressing things for someone like me, because the union administration do not want you to be interested in your future. They do not want you to question your future. They don't want you to fight for your future. They want to be the end all be all of everything, right? They know that if they keep you demoralized, that you won't participate in elections to get them out of here. You will not be making videos and posting about this contract because you're so focused on securing the bag and punching in to work and going home because people think that that's securing the bag. And securing the bag is really when someone try to take your bag, how you going to secure it, right? That's what securing the bag really is. Transit workers in general is disinterested in their future. And like I said, that does not benefit you. It benefits the people who's trying to tell you what's good for you. It benefits a corrupt administration. It benefits people who think that they were born to be union people. Like they were hired to be union people. No, you were not hired to be union people. You were hired to drive a bus. You was hired to operate a train. You was hired to be in a booth. You was hired to be a cleaner, whatever the case may be. Nobody here was hired to be a union rep. You was elected. And the union reps that we have, they are not, I would say the majority of them, they were not elected because they were fighters. They were not elected because they was kicking management behind. Most of them are elected because, you know, they fund to go have a drink, to have a Lincoln drink with. Some people are elected because they give nice parties. Some people are elected because they speak to everyone every morning, right? All of that is politics, but at the end of the day, how many union reps that you know are elected because they are kicking management behind? Richie been kicking management behind all these years? Absolutely not. He wants to be a manager, and that was his plan. If he did not become president, he was going to become a manager, right? A lot of our representatives are not there because they are kicking anyone in management behind, right? They are not, management do not fear, not one of them, right? A lot of people, a lot of union reps are in place because they go along and get along with their program. One thing's for sure, every union rep that's released opposes absolutely nothing publicly that this union administration does. They do not publicly oppose anything. They don't make videos. They don't make posts. They don't question anything. They don't do no research, because anyone who does research, right, about anything regarding this contract, you can see that they are lying to you. They've been running they've been running with that lie that I talked about in the beginning of the show about the PBA 10, 12 hours and this and that. Come to find out, what our union was calling a concession was a major win by NYPD. They working 10, 12 hours a day so they could come to work 60 times less a year. That's a win. That is a major win. Anybody want to call into the show, you could call in 563-999-3714. But that was a major win. I don't understand how it's anything but that, right? But we sit there and we listen to these reps. I mean, Donald Yates, he did a live yesterday, like 40-something minutes. And he said that he was going to explain the contract and things of this nature. Only thing he did was read the contract, read the arbitration award. And the stuff that he read in the arbitration award substantiated everything that I was saying. He read the stuff that shows if we go to arbitration, that more than likely we're going to get more than what this union administration bargained for us. And we got to be clear, and Richie Davis need to be clear about what's really going to happen. If this contract get voted down, 10 times out of 10, they're going to vote you down next election. They're going to vote you down next election. Even if it come close, there's a possibility that you're going to be voted down, because like I told you, when it comes to black people, us black people, and I'm talking about us as a community, when it comes to black people, it's so easy for us to condemn each other. It's so easy for us to hold one of us accountable, right? It's so easy for us to talk negative to one another. And guess what Richie Davis did when I told him that? During the mass membership meeting, he made a speech in front of his handlers, because he was there to show his white handlers, that's what this was about, that he's not pro-black. And I'm over here giving, I got the text messages. Why you think that Richie Davis never released the entire video from the mass membership meeting? Because he realized that he messed up by doing that, right? He read a text message that I gave him, and I was telling him those things like, yo, you got to surround yourself with strong people. right? Because you are black. And the membership of the black people, this is a mostly black membership, right? And I'm not talking about white people, I'm talking about black people. The black people here is not going to have no problems holding your black ass accountable. And he decided to go in front of the mass membership meeting and say that I was being divisive when I was giving him true advice as a black man. But Richie plays this, oh, you know, I'm pro-black. Richie is not pro-black. Richie is not pro-union. Richie is pro-Richie. Richie is pro-management. That's who he is, right? And now, and I'll be honest with you. I like Richie. I think Richie got a cool personality, right? When I was going through things in the union, he would call me. He would say, hey, Tramel, how you doing? Everything good? Those things is cool about him. But when it comes to leadership, he's not a leader. When it comes to him fighting for the members, it's all a facade. And that's what we see during this contract. We got a few callers on the line. Let me get to the caller. Caller 8046. You now live on Progressive Action TV. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Caller 8046. You now live on Progressive Action TV.
You got to turn down the background. You got to talk to me like you're talking to me on the phone.
Yeah.
Are you there?
This is Scott from State. I'm here.
This is Scott from Stations. All right. What's on your mind?
Yeah. So basically, you're right about the paid family leave. The other issue, you know, I know you said, you know, for men it's not that much of a big deal, but one of the issues I wanted to bring up for why men it should have been equal across the board is because the simple fact is, you know, like you said, this union is majority black. We're black, largely black membership. So what happens during birth with a lot of black women is that, you know, they die during childbirth right now. That's a really high rate. So men only having 4 weeks, if, you know, worst case scenario, they're not able to stay at home with their kids because they don't have that equal same amount of time. And, you know, you got union, when you bring that up to, you know, people that's working for the union right now, they want to tell you, well, go get a job somewhere else. And I think that's crazy when we should be able to get more out of this deal, you know, especially with that factor alone. You know, just, you know, today with everything going on, you know, women can be lost during childbirth, postpartum depression going on longer. You know, men should have that same equal amount of time to be able to spend there and be there for their girl and their child.
That's an excellent.
And the other thing is about the membership.
Yeah, continue.
A lot of members is just checked out. They, you know, it's whatever the union is going to give them. They just really checked out, and it is a shame. There's no real cohesive fight going on. It's like, all right, yo, we know the union going to take whatever. No, fight for more. You know, they willing to give up the fight for hazard pay. And I'm like, why? Why? We was out here. We put our lives on the line. Why give up this fight? Why not hold them accountable?
I listen. I agree with everything that you said, and that's a good point. You know, sometimes things happen during pregnancy, and the man need to be there more for more than 4 weeks. I agree with you 1,000% on that. No argument for me, and it should if they was go strip down the paid family leave like that, you're right. It should have been equal with women. I'm happy that the women got 12 weeks though, but for sure it should have been equal if they was go strip it down like that. That's why the MTA didn't have no problem agreeing to that part of the contract, because this union administration saved the MTA so much money. So they go out there and they brag, oh, the union contract is worth $870 million. Why don't they talk about how much money they saved the MTA with this contract? You know what I'm saying? But thanks for calling in, bro. That was a great point that you brought up. Thanks for calling in.
Definitely.
All right. He brought up a great point. I can't argue that point. I'm not trying to argue it either. Let me get to the next caller. Caller 8356. You now live on Progressive Action TV. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Tramel. This is Vinny from retired third rail maintainer.
Vinny, how you doing,
sir? I called
sir?
you about, I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Doing good, man. How about yourself, brother?
I'm doing well.
All right. I'm looking at something here. okay, that I got from somebody else, okay? Seeing the Buzz, it has the new director on it, James Manzella, or whatever the heck you want to pronounce his last name, okay? And on the back of it, it says here, TWU Enhanced Retirement Benefit Coverage, okay? What I'm not understanding on the bottom of this, it has medical benefits provider is subject to change, pursuit to the procurement, and I don't know what RFP process. I don't know what RFP stands for. But this is coming from the union itself. Okay? So how are medical benefit providers is subject to change, pursuit to the procurement RFP process?
That's a good.
That is throwing me off right now. I have no idea what that is.
I have to look into that. I never heard that, but I'm glad that you brought that point up.
Okay. Now another thing you were saying a little earlier. Unfortunately, different departments have so-called caps on the number of people that could be out, on any given day.
Mm-hmm.
And, people have to, like station departments or conductors, train operators would have to put in like a week or two in advance to take a day off.
More than that.
I used to tell
more than that.
Super.
Stations got to put in, I believe, 60 days.
Okay. Here's the answer to all of that. Here's the answer that you give labor relations over there at 2 Broadway, okay? If anybody gets written up. Do we live in a communist country? Do we have slavery anymore in this country? Thank God, no, we don't, okay? And if I died tonight, does this job stop tomorrow?
Absolutely not.
Go up to labor relations with that, and you know what they're going to tell supervision? Give him back his money. Have a good day. Get out of here. This is what people don't understand. Like you're saying, they want to control your life. They want to tell you when you can and when you can't take off to benefit them. But hey, those are the God's honest truth right there. Not in a communist country. We don't have slavery. And if anybody out there died tonight, the job is going to continue the next day.
Let me say this though.
Okay.
Let me say this though.
I'm sorry?
Let me say this.
Yeah, go ahead.
We allegedly don't live in a communist country. Everything about this country is communist. You think about this. You have to pay to go into another borough. That whole congestion pricing, that's communism. You're not allowed to.
Oh, no, I get that.
You're not allowed to move freely in the city that you live. You got to pay to go into another part of the city if you have a car. That's communism.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. No, you got a point there. Most definitely. You definitely have a point there. I got to agree with you on that one. And I'm going to give you, for instance, when I retired in 2016, I moved down to Tennessee. Okay. I'd be able to drive from Tennessee all the way up to the border of Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Wait, I'm sorry. The border of Pennsylvania and New Jersey coming up from Tennessee, I didn't have to pay a toll. When I got off of 78 to get onto the Jersey Turnpike, that's when I had to start paying tolls. And another weird thing is, in New Jersey, you only pay tolls if you're going north and south. You go north and south on the turnpike, you're paying tolls. You go north and south on the, what's the other one?
Garden State?
Holy cow, I can't remember the other one.
The Garden State?
Yeah, the Garden State. There you go. Thank you, sir. Mm-hmm. Yes. You go north and south on the Garden State, you're paying tolls. You go east and west on Interstate 78, you don't pay a toll until you hit the state of Pennsylvania. And that's only $1 or $2 to go over the bridge to go into Pennsylvania. and then you're on 78 all the way through, you're not paying any more tolls. Why are these people going to agree to a contract right now when they have not set the amount of money that they're going to charge people for this new congestive pricing? Like they said, I just seen it on the news today. Congestive pricing could be anywhere from $9 a day to $23 a day. There's a big difference in money right there, first off. Again, why are they pushing this contract and signing it now, and congestive pricing hasn't gone into effect yet? The gentleman before me who was saying you got to follow the money, exactly right. How much money does MTA get just for transactions of selling property in New York? Okay, if I sold my house in New York, all right, whoever I sold it to, if I sold my house to you, somehow or another, transit gets like 0.25% of something out of it somehow. All right, they're making money hand over fist. Instead of correcting the problems that they have within the system and the departments they have, what they do is they throw more managers. They make more managers out of it. How about do away with some of the managers they have in all the departments?
They got
because half of the managers that
they have managers managing managers managing managers. That's what this place is.
Yes. You have a level 1. You have a level 2. You have a superintendent. You have a general superintendent. Then you have the flipping mucky muck all the way up top there. And it's like, and really, I'm gonna say it point blankly, it's like the old saying goes, shit rolls downstream, scumbags float to the top.
And
okay, and if something happens,
you know how they justify their existence?
Yeah, exactly.
No. I want you to tell me how, because I know you were about to get to it. Tell me how they justify their existence, all these managers. That
they know better than everybody else knows.
No.
And that they bring in...
They justify their existence by writing hourlies up. Because some of them don't even know what they're supposed to do, right? You got managers out there that never even came from RTO, or don't even know, like you got managers who were conductors doing work trains, never was a train operator or nothing like that. You throw them into the fire like that, like how they supposed to know the nuances of the job? Because every title has its nuance. And in order to manage a title, you should know the nuances of the job also. And this company just promote people just to promote people, especially in the managerial titles. Like I said, like you said, you have a level 1, you have a level 2, you have a regular superintendent, you have a general, you have an acto, you have all these people managing all these other people for what? And this place is still ran poorly.
Yep. And it's insanity. I mean, before I left, I had people coming, like I said, I was in third rail, okay? Before I left, the last 5 years of working were like my most miserable 5 years. I had new people coming in from track department, okay, coming over to third rail, and they're standing there with their hands in their pockets. They're like, well, what do I got to do that for? And I would tell them, hey, listen, I'm trying to teach you how to do this safely, okay, so that you don't kill yourself or blow yourself up. But I tell you what, you want to take the chance of blowing yourself up or killing yourself because we're dealing with 600 volts DC and there's anywhere between 10,000 and 15,000 amps, depending on how the circuit breakers are set up at this point, okay? It's really easy to get hurt out here. Why do you think Terry Rump ran from maintenance away and went to control? She had too many instances of, in like a week and a half, 2 weeks, where X amount of third rail people got hurt.
Wow, that's why
you know
she
why
went.
those
That's why
third
she
rail
went there.
people got hurt?
Tell me why. Tell me why.
Because those are the same people that I was trying to teach before I left. They didn't want to learn the job. They didn't do their job safely, and now it's catching up to them because all the senior guys like myself, okay, and a handful of senior people that are still there now, okay, are trying to teach these people, and they don't want to learn it.
Got it.
That's what's happening, and that's what's happening with transit in general, okay? That's what's happening with transit in general. They have, and management, Jesus Christ, management, they don't even know what they're doing.
That's a fact.
Okay?
That is a fact. Well, look, thanks for calling in. Let me get to the rest of the callers. I got a full line
Real
of callers.
quick, what's your email address again?
Progressive
What's
Action.
your email address again?
Progressive Action 100 at gmail.com.
At Gmail. Okay, kid.
Send me
All
something.
right, I'll be sending something out to you.
All right, sound good.
All right, stay safe, man.
Yeah, thank you. I love when the retirees call in. You know, they always dropping some type of knowledge. I kick it with a lot. I've been talking to a lot of retirees ever since this Medicare Advantage stuff been popping off. So it's good to always hear from the retirees. I got a line of callers. I'm getting to everyone tonight. Everyone. Caller 8313. You now live on Progressive Action TV. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi. Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear.
Okay, good. Okay, my name is Shaniqua. I'm going to be brief, which is unusual for me. First, I want to say I've been admiring your work for at least, I want to say 7 to 8 years from afar, because I was very hesitant to get involved with any faction that was going to be going against, I won't say the status quo, but going against and causing what I felt like could be dissension in an already weakened union. However, with that being said, over the years, I've seen a lot. From afar, I haven't mentioned anything just to make sure I was being unbiased. But what I will say is I definitely, and who am I, but I definitely like your work. I'm very familiar with labor. I've always been in a union, always been in what they consider non-traditional employment for women my whole entire life. I really wish there's some kind of way that, and this is nothing negative, but like Chris Drummond, yourself, Evangeline Byers, I see so many strengths in all of you. There's another young lady, Nuke McLaurin. I wouldn't care what the differences were, because the same way that you mentioned the people who are not necessarily friends, you mentioned, but I'm just going to re-mention, you said Richie and LaTanya don't necessarily like each other, but they're working in cahoots for their same purpose. I wish there was some way that you guys in this 2023 could go back and make the basic men's to just be cordial enough to get the work done, because the membership is desperately in need of your talent. I'm not that old, but I consider myself an OG. I'm a little older than you. But again, I was raised in unions, educated early on about unions since, I want to say, since like 6 or 7 years old. My whole family's been in labor unions. When I hear you say uncouth, I'm not chastising you. I just want you to be cognizant that words like uncouth, unorthodox, unhinged, those are words that they use to describe people who don't usually fit the normal cookie cutter demeanor where you speak below a whisper. You know, you're allowed to be passionate when you're a man. You're allowed to gesture. I look at Hakeem Jeffries all the time. I'm very fond of him. He's gesturing. He's not looking like he's going to strike anybody, but he's making his points understood. So, you know, maybe overall there are some of us who could be a bit more polished, but when you've been around as long as I've been around and you've seen how they ruined labor, laws that already, I want you to keep this in mind, these laws that we're fighting against were already fought and won by our ancestors. So it's very personal to me. Our ancestors died, literally, bled, had dogs sicked on them, hoses sicked on them, all in between, disappeared, ended up in the river, missing. So uncouth is not a bad thing. And I won't be long, but I'll say somebody like Shirley Chisholm was considered uncouth, but she was also unbought, which is most important, and unbought, and had tremendous integrity. Marcus Garvey was uncouth, and even the late, great Michael J. Quill that they like to always tout about. I'll say this, don't be bamboozled. The MTA, New York City Transit Authority, has prime real estate in the city of New York, in Times Square, named on 4 blocks from the West Side Highway to 11th and 12th, 40th to 42nd, or 40th to 41st, named after Michael J. Quill. And he was considered uncouth, but he was revered. So my question that I want to leave you with is, we have to be careful. It's uncouth. Passion comes in many different forms. As long as you have integrity and you're honest and you're for your people and not for individual gain, that's all I really care about. Yes, some of us can tone it down a little bit. Some of us can be groomed a little bit better. But maybe people have been through a lot and they need to keep that fire lit to even just be purposeful. But, I won't go on and on and on, but I would really love to see yourself again. I listen to Chris Drummond a lot. He's different from you in many ways, but he's right on point. Evangeline is very different from you, but right on point. Nuke is different from you, right on point. You guys are in an age bracket that it really matters because they're not thinking of the next generation. They're only thinking of themselves. New York City unions are about to be obliterated. African American and black and brown workers are about to be ruined in New York City, and we already understand that they don't live in New York City, can't afford the rent, can't afford the bills. So I wish there was some kind of way, and that's how I'll end by saying, who am I? I'm just a lowly person working alongside everybody, but I want you guys to know all of your hard work does not go unnoticed. I just wish that you guys could all add up for one finger, and be that collective fist. That would be way more powerful. I see so many points that you give that are great. So many points that Evangeline gives us great. Nuke. Who else? There's a few other people I saw. This other gentleman, Jason. Chris Drummond. I can't think of everybody because I don't always have the time to watch the shows. But I want to encourage you guys to keep it going. But just be careful with that uncouth. Uncouth is a great thing. Pat Lynch, when I think of him, no disrespect, he is as uncouth as you get. Sometimes his members are accused of heinous things, shooting somebody in the back or whatever. He comes out with that passion and that zeal and that fire, and he lets the courts decide it later. Uncouth should not only be reserved when you are a white male union, labor union representative, and your union membership is predominantly white members. So what I'm saying is it's okay to be uncouth, loud, bombastic, and fight hard tooth and nail as long as you're a white male in the patriarchal system and you're fighting for predominantly white members. You don't have to whisper and be docile and be like, yes, sir, no, sir, I like the treatment you've given me, sir. We're not, like the last caller said, slavery is over. We're not on a plantation, okay? Although they'd like to try to roll back the progress for decades, we can't allow it. And that's what I'll say unless you have any comments towards me.
Yeah, I actually do. Do you know the definition of uncouth? Because I think that the way that you're using it is making it seem like it's synonymous with radical. So those people who I've never heard, and I watched documentaries with Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Shirley Chisholm. I study that stuff. I have never heard them be called uncouth. And the definition of uncouth, the way that I use it, is lacking grace and lacking refinement. Richie Davis is very uncouth.
So without interrupting you, I just don't want to forget, keep in mind, Malcolm X was a prisoner, did illegal things. In other words, you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Sometimes your best weapon is an uncouth person. The question is, because they're relentless, are they telling the truth? This is a few things you need to know. Are they telling the truth? Do they have integrity? In other words, would they not sell out their own mama for $1? And the refinement can come later. Sometimes people are refined in the beginning of their lives, and then they're set up later because of so many injustices.
Well, let me ask you this. Hold on. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Do you feel the union president?
Yes.
Do you feel the union president is an honest individual?
I'm going to not speak on his honesty. What I will say is I'm going to repeat because, again, I don't want to be accused of slander, right? So I would have to sit here tonight with a bunch of facts that are going to back up his dishonest actions. What I will piggyback off of saying, and not to cop out at all, some of the things you've been saying and others about is starting to smell like a rat and look like they're only in bed with the companies for their own benefits. That is not unique to me. I am Black in America and been living on the planet for 5 decades. So just because your face changes, like you said, just because I smile at you and think you're a nice person, I might even go to a party with you. If I start to see time and time again repeatedly what you're doing, let's be clear, selling out people is not an original thing. It's been done to our people, unfortunately. And when I say our people, I don't want any race to get offended. Usually black and brown people is who I'm referring to. But let's be clear, there are a lot of white members that are getting caught up in this because they look at them as lower class by being blue-collar workers. Okay? Again, if this membership was predominantly white, even if it was white blue-collar workers, some of this stuff would not be going down the way this is going down.
Well, with sis,
okay?
we don't. Hold on, sis. We don't have to look far. We could just look at Long Island Railroad and Metro North, where the numbers are reversed. They don't get treated.
I'm losing you a little bit.
I said we don't have to look far.
Can you say that again?
We don't have to look far. We could just look at Long Island Railroad and Metro North to prove that point that you said.
Absolutely. You can look at the LIRR, like you said, Metro North, absolutely, PBA, Fire Department, right? Which other ones you want to use? Some of the steel workers unions, some of the plumbers unions, right?
Exactly.
So we're in agreement with that. But when you ask me about somebody's honesty, I'm not going to go on the record unless I have a stack of facts next to me. But as far as representing people, I'm going to make it real simple. People pay $27 biweekly for representation. They're not paying to be deceived. They're not paying based on how you feel about them personally, if you like them. So I'm just using your words as a joke. And whether they're uncouth or not couth, you don't give them a discount when you're taking their membership dues. So everyone deserves to be represented individually, and then everyone deserves to be represented collectively. And some stuff is not rocket science. You always say that. So I don't know who these people think they're dealing with. Like you said, they always think that people are unintelligent. For a lot of people, transit is not their first job, okay? And you might not have learned some of these things in your other job, but you might have learned more in your other job. I don't know for everyone. Some people learned labor before they even stepped out of their house, because if you came out of a household like mine, they want you to know before you start running for a paycheck to learn how the system works. Otherwise, you're going to be spinning like a hamster in a wheel, just running, chasing money and never getting anywhere. So before you learn about the money, learn who controls the money, who controls your benefits, who controls what is really a benefit. When you break a leg, for example, if you're not in your 20s and you're only thinking about a car, and I'm just making a general example, you're not just worried about buying a brand new car when you get down with transit and then you break your leg, but now you got to pay $40,000 or something later, and now they didn't take your medical coverage away. That's something sometimes no fault of their own. Young people haven't been really educated that deeply, because right now they're just so happy to have a job. They're so happy to be off their mother's income. They're so happy to be feeling prideful and independent in a city, in a state like New York that told them they couldn't do it. You know, so it's not by design that they're hiring so many young people. I love seeing young people. I love seeing older people that they call throwaways, older women, all people in the workplace, because together we can all fight for the benefits. But you can't be pitting the groups against each other. The young people shouldn't be like, well, that's not my concern. I'm not old. I'm not retiring. The retirees can't be like, well, that's not my concern. I already got mine. My kids is grown. I don't need FMLA. I don't need autism care because I raised all my kids. Collectively as a people, where will the benefits in labor? So you might have a nice pension, but what good if it is your grandkids are going to come to you years later and say, Granddaddy, they laid me off again. Remember I went to work for the same company as you, but it's changed so much. I can't even live X amount of place. Can I come stay with you? That pension is now being split in several ways. I mean, that's just a very simple example. It doesn't have to be factual, but we've got to do better. So I want to end, because I probably said too much, and I'm dealing with my own situation. But what I will say is, and I really hope that this marinates for you, I would love to see you guys put your differences to the side, whatever they were. You guys wouldn't be the first. Since you named some of the greats, Martin Luther King had beef with, and I'm just using that word facetiously, had beef with Malcolm at one point, and on and on and on. But at some point, they were all on the same accord, because you're going to have to ball up as a fist, not one individual finger. And that's one of the reasons that I feel like we're not really making a segue soon enough. We're making slow progress. You call progressive action, but the progress, by no fault of your own, but the progress is too slow. These people are doing a doozy on this union. So I would love to see all 5 fingers, and I'm sure there's more, but I'm going to name them again. Chris Drummond, Evangeline Byers, Luke McLaurin, all of you speak articulately. Yourself, Trammell. There's another brother, Alexander Kemp, but there's one other brother, Jason. I can't remember his last name. Excellent. There's no reason you guys shouldn't be brought to the table to really represent the membership, especially if you guys are going to be the future and if you're in Tier 6. Now, I'm going to be honest. I made Tier 4 by the skin of a grit. I got hired in March. Tier 6 started in April. You understand? But it doesn't matter to me. My fight is for everyone. I just think, again, our ancestors died on these streets of New York. Think of the trolley cars. Before they paved these grounds with tar, our ancestors drove trolley cars. Okay, somebody like Maya Angelou, her first job, she was actually a streetcar conductor. Our history is deep in transportation. You understand? The porters, I can't even think of it right now, I'm so passionate. But the red caps, they had to fight to be unionized as they was coming up and down on the trains. This is so deep. But what I would say is the five of you, and if not more, you guys really need to put all your differences aside and hopefully maybe by the next contract, I don't know if this contract is done already, signed, sealed, and delivered, you guys got to get together because that's the only way that this is going to change.
Understood, sis. Your message was well received. Thanks for calling in. I hear the passion in your voice,
too. Thank you for listening.
All right, we'll
stay blessed.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Yeah, she just gave a passionate speech. Don't worry, callers. I'm getting to everyone. Do not worry about it. I'm getting to everyone. But she named a whole bunch of people that's in progressive action. I think we working together. There's things. There's conversations. That's happening. You just see me do a live with Local 100 Fight Back. I think that there's things happening behind the scenes and in front of people's faces. But one thing we got to keep in mind is that all the people she named are in progressive action. There's only one person she named that's not in progressive action, and they started in progressive action. So, that is what it is. Never know what the future may hold. But let me get to the next caller. Caller 6483. You now live on Progressive Action TV. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello, how you doing, Tramal? It's Garcia.
What's going on, Celso? My co-host, my unofficial co-host. What's going on? I'm good.
Yeah. Unofficial, and I'm sorry I take up so much of your time and so much of everything you say. But I have to rebut the last caller, and I believe transit. If you break it down by race, it's 50% Caucasian, and the rest is made up of Hispanic, Asians, all types of races. It's a melting pot. I think there's a lot of different races. Just because you see one group of people, whatever, but it's made up of so many different types of people in different areas, and that's what I've experienced in transit.
Is there? Hold on. Let me stop you right there. Hold on. Let me stop you right there. Are you giving me an anecdotal? That you giving me anecdotal? You giving me anecdotal data, or you telling me what the facts are? Because I'm telling you, it's not 50-50. The demographic.
It's about 50%.
The demographics are not.
What
50,
are the demographics?
There are 49% Black people on this in New York City Transit. I believe there's 17% white. There's about 20-something% Hispanic. So it's not 50-50. Half of New York City Transit is Black, 49%.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I mean by as far as a lot of us are minorities, but it's like you self-identify. It depends on what you consider yourself, your identity. You understand?
I got that.
And I don't think that should be the main factor. Yeah.
Okay, you don't think it's going to be a main
factor? You understand?
Factor?
That's what I'm saying. It's questionable where they get their data from. That's what I'm saying. Where they get their data from and how did it's just like the fare evasion. They say, the buses are empty, the trains are empty. But when you get on the bus and on the train is full. The trains are packed. And then they say, you know what? We have sensors. And how do we get this information? Because last time I checked, no one ever asked me what I identify as when I became employed. You understand? That's what I mean. Where are they getting the data from?
I don't think that their racial demographics data is off. But like you said, sometimes people like you have Spanish people that will identify as white. You will have Chinese or Asian people who identify as white. You know what I'm saying? I don't know too many Black people that's going to write on a application that they identify Black people that identify as white. I believe that the numbers are what they are, and I believe that the demographics are the reason we get treated the way we get treated. And what I try to tell, the white people, co-workers, our brothers and sisters, is that all of this is collateral damage. You could be collateral damage in a positive way, or you could be collateral damage in a negative way. When you work with an all black or mostly black membership or company, you're going to get treated like what the majority of that company is. If a black person works for a majority with a majority Caucasian company, like when we see black cops working with white in a mostly white company, they get that same protection that their white coworkers get, and it's all collateral. It could be collateral positive or collateral negative. I feel that I feel that we get treated the way we get treated here is because of the makeup of this membership. It's mostly black people, and us as black and Hispanics. We don't get involved. The numbers say the numbers tell for itself. Black people, we don't vote in any type of elections. We don't vote for councilmen, assembly people, presidential elections. We don't vote in union elections. That says that black people mostly do not get involved with politics. Black and Hispanic people mostly do not get involved in politics. We see what happened when there's positives and there's negatives when it comes to working with a certain demographic of people. Black people tend to shy away from the things that we should not be shying away from. We should be heavily involved. But continue.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That the other 51%, which are Hispanic, Asian, Caucasian, they also get dismissed as not important. And that was the point I was saying. And it's kind of hard to pin down what the view of a person is. You know what I mean, right? You understand?
I mean,
because a lot of people have different views, alternative views. I met a lot of people that are very conservative, and they're minorities, but they have they have a very conservative, and they think a certain way, and no one's going to change the way they think. And even though they're part of a minority group, they don't see it that way. You understand?
Yeah, I mean, for example. So for example, that what you just described is exactly who Richie Davis is. Richie Davis will pander to black people on on Black History Month, but he don't have the mind of a black person to be I won't say black person. He don't have the mind of someone who's liberal, right? He has a conservative mind.
Yeah.
Right. He
and he did say he was a conservative.
He is.
He did say he was a conservative when he came to our depot, the shop case. He admitted that I'm a conservative, and nobody's gonna change the way I look at things. And I said, wow, this is crazy. You're admitting in front of everyone that you're a conservative, as if there's nothing wrong with that. Like you really, and you're a union representative, president of a union, saying that you have conservative values. I said that's kind of damaging to say that out loud, as if it's not it's not nothing bad, No, that was my main point,
It's really bad to have a union president as a conservative because his values are not our values, right? So his and Richie Davis, whether he believe it or not, Richie. That's why I say white supremacy is not a skin color. We have to stop associating white supremacy solely with white people. That's not what that is, right? It's easy to associate white supremacy to white people. There are black people out here with white supremacist views, and if you're a stark conservative,
that's my point of view.
Yeah, go ahead. That's your point of view.
Yeah, that's my point of view. Exactly. That it depends on how you identify and what are your values? You know what I mean, right? You understand?
No, I got you.
Could be a person, a minority, and have conservative values, and be a person that because some people make a little bit more money than a lot of other minorities in this job, so they feel like they're a little bit more uppity, a little bit better than the other ones that let's say ride the bus or don't pay the fare. But if things keep going the way they're going, we're gonna end up there too. You understand?
I got you.
We'll be the ones asking for rides, You understand? That's what I mean. And we can never have that view that we're more better than any other union member or any other person, because it depends on the person how you identify. You understand? Because there's people that have stopped me and said, wait, hold on. I'm totally against what you're saying because I'm conservative and they're minorities too. And I said, wow, I was surprised. I was shocked to hear that. And I said, wow, I got to watch what I say, because they were really offended. They were really upset because they're extremely conservative. You understand?
Yeah, I got you.
And that's what I mean. So you might be agreeing with them, but they're disagreeing with you. Like, oh my God, this guy, like, you know, and he's a thug and this and that assumptions they're making. And these are people from my own, you know, cultural background, from my own history, you know, that they have. In the end of the day, I think we're all union members. That's not shouldn't be the most important factor. But sometimes people look at it, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't be fighting. Doesn't mean we should be stepping forward and doing the best we can to put a good face forward. And that's why I disagree with the other caller to say that, you know, just because you can't just look at a person's skin color and say, oh, this person is this person is that. It's about what they identify themselves as, you know. And like we have a union president that's a conservative that sits and holds hands. We have a mayor that says he's also a conservative. I mean, he's not the New York Times says he's a conservative and that he has voted with the conservatives and has put through a lot of conservative stuff that other mayors haven't been able to put through. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And that's hurting us. That's hurting the groups. The same thing as Hoko. She has a lot of conservative things that she has pushed through. She comes off and she says she's a liberal. She says she's a progressive. But in the end of the day, she's doing all the same things conservative cannot get away with. You understand? They're using a shield to cover themselves from having to face the reality of what it is. And I think a lot of the Democrats are also there. That's why we're bidding for them. And we're going all out for the city council members. And then they come and they vote against us. And they turn their backs on us, state senators, all types of people. And they turn their backs on us, on the union members, even though, you know, they claim to be progressives or claim to be liberals. I don't know. That's a very loose definition of what a liberal is. And that's what I was going to say. And just to fact check you a little bit, the PMLA, the Pay Medical Leave Act from the state, HOCO cut us out from that. And also the MTA cut us out from that. Hey, is that something a conservative would do to a group of, working class people? I don't think so. But, a liberal would do that to a group of working class people? I don't think they would do that. Yeah, but that's exactly what she did. And we're basically getting paid $1,138 of 67% of the state average, which is about $3,900 average by weekly wages. So it's based on the state average. So then that's when we get $1,100 a week that we will get paid. 12 weeks pay for any family member that's sick, military service, coronavirus, 12 weeks, and they could be used along with FMLA. But the only difference is that it's paid, and we only have to pay $399 in a year.
Yeah, $15 a paycheck.
And that's every year. It renews itself. And the reason why they didn't want to do it for us is because they're after availability.
Exactly.
They want us to be available.
Exactly.
They want us to be behind that wheel. They want us to be behind that train. They want us picking up people and picking up as many people as we can and work as many days as we can. You understand? So they say, oh, I thought the 109. And another thing is, another fact check I wanted to do is that the fair beating is not $600 million. Fair beating is $600 million based on MTA estimate. Do they have an exact number? They don't even know who gets in and out of the trains or the buses. They have no way to keep track of that.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? There's no control. We're being assaulted like crazy. They don't even know who's getting on and off the buses. And guess what? They're paying The Independent did an article that they're paying the NYPD $600 million a year in overtime that they get reimbursed for. The NYPD pays for it, and then the MTA reimburses them. So that means fair beating is costing them $1.3 billion, just using their numbers. You understand? But they don't want you to know about that, right? Because the fair beating is out of control, but nothing's being done about it. But they're spending $600 million paying NYPD overtime. Does that make sense?
Not at all. Not at all, my brother.
Yeah, exactly. So that's $1.2 billion on fair beating. That's not including carrying more people or the fuel that's spent or the damage that people do when they vandalize stuff. When we get assaulted by people, that I'm not saying, okay, we have to crack down and arrest people and put people in jail, but they should make sure, like the old days, that they had to pay their fare. If you're going to get on, you have to pay your fare.
Yeah.
You understand? You're going to take the bus, you're going to have to pay your fare because it's cutting from somebody else.
Well, Celso,
that's
look.
my main point. That's cutting from somebody else. Yeah.
I appreciate the call. I got to get to the next caller before these phone lines cut off.
Yeah.
But it's always good to hear from you, my brother.
And
I know you're going to send me about 50 messages. You're going to send me about 50 messages tonight. I already know.
1,000 messages with all the research and all that. And they hate me in the union now. Thanks to you, Tramal.
I appreciate it.
All right. But it's okay, though, because we're fighting for the same thing.
Exactly.
All right. Even if we have different views. Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Okay. Bye.
Let me tell you guys something. Nobody send me more messages than Celso Garcia. He sent me messages. I don't know if this guy's asleep. I don't know what's going on with him. He sent me so many messages about research and read this and watch this. I appreciate it because them type of messages keep me on my toes. But it's always good and refreshing to see someone so excited as him do the research and we can have these conversations. Let me get to the next caller. Caller 6168. You now live on Progressive Action TV. What's your name? Where you calling from?
The next caller. Caller 6168. You now live on Progressive Action.
Turn me down. Talk to me like you talking to me on the phone.
Hi. Can you hear me?
What's going on? How you doing? Hello.
Hi, Tramal. I just turned.
Yes.
Hi.
What's your
Can you hear
name?
me?
What's your name? Where you calling from?
I am retired. I'm a retired. I've had all the titles. My name's Renee Banks.
Miss Banks. All right. What's on your mind tonight?
And I came in as a clerk in 1987. We're railroad clerks. Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear.
Okay. I came in as a railroad clerk in 1987. I went to tower operator in 93, then train operator in 1993, and then I went to TSS in 2008. So I've been retired since 2016. What I want to say to you is that I watch you, and I think you're doing a fantastic job. I wish that the people would listen to you because we've had some jacked up union representatives throughout our career there. I mean, I came in before Toussaint. You understand? I was in the strike with Toussaint, and that is a mess itself. But what I will say is that all the gripes that you have, how their managers treat you and what they do, this ain't new, boo. This is not new. They've been doing this forever. They treat us all bad. I mean, I've seen them come up through the ranks, and this is how they just treat us. It has not gotten any better, and it's sad that it's still going on. It's 30 years. I've been retired 7 now. 30 years I was there, and it's sad that this is the culture. And you're doing a great job, but believe me when I tell you, it's really getting worse for y'all, and I feel for y'all. Tier 6 sucks. And what I will say is that this Medicare Advantage, my mom worked for social services. She's 89. She's very sickly. She's in the hospital right now. She's being forced into Tier 6 come September. And I've called them and wanted to opt out, and they told me, well, if you opt out...
Hold up. She can't be forced into Tier 6. That's a pension. Do you mean one of those Medicare
No,
option
not
ones?
tier 6. She's being forced into Medicare Advantage.
All right, there we go. All right, yeah, continue. Yeah, sis.
I don't hear you.
I'm listening. No, I'm saying, continue. You said that she was forced into
She
tier 6.
was CWA 1180.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Working with social services.
Okay, yeah, finish explaining your story.
Okay. So I called up Medicare Advantage, and I wanted to opt her out. And they said, okay, you can opt out. But if you opt out, that 20% that she would get reimbursed for Part B, Medicare, she won't get. And then you have to pay in to get the secondary, right? And that can cost $300 or $400 a month for somebody that's retired that can't afford it. So I was reading through the booklet and all, and when I spoke to Lacey, she's like, no, everything is going to be the same. But then I listened to your guys, and I asked, well, what is the disadvantages if they're saying it's going to be the same? So I'm understanding now that they can say, well, she can't get approved for this. But the lady was like, no, they won't do this because they signed up with Medicare, and they have to still keep all of that they agreed to with Medicare. They still have to do that. So I'm kind of lost with this. But so in September, she's going to have it, and she's in the hospital right now. Right? So some of the things will change, but I hope it's not a detriment to her health at this point, right? So what I'm saying is that you're doing a great job. I want you to keep up what you're doing, right? But I'm going to tell you, when I was in transit for 30 years, I had it rough, very rough there. Okay, I didn't have a rabbi, and women back in the day. Because I was one of the first train operators way back in the day. We had it bad. The facilities weren't meant for women. You know, it was a male job, and we were treated badly. So because we fought for a lot. When I had my son in 94, there was no maternity leave, right? Thank God y'all are getting maternity leave now. There was a group of us that fought for that. You understand? In 94. So just keep doing what you're doing. I watch you religiously. You're doing a great job, and I'm glad that I got through to you.
Well, let me ask you a question. What line did you work on when you was a TSS? Like, what was your section?
I started out, I was on the Beast, but I went to C Division.
Oh, okay, work trains. Did we ever?
No, flagging.
Oh, flag. Did we ever cross paths before?
Excuse me, you broke up.
Did we ever cross paths before?
You look real familiar to me, but I don't think we did. I retired in 2016.
Oh, okay, I was on the job only for 3 years when you retired. So.
Yeah. And where were you at?
I was in Coney Island, Stillwell. That was my home.
Oh, see, you might have seen me come out there with my flaggers, but I'm basically stayed in the A Division.
Okay. Well, I'm happy that you called in, and I'm happy that you watch, the show religiously. Thank you for the compliments, and
yes,
I appreciate you.
Well, keep on doing what you're doing. And I really appreciate what you're doing, and I hope the young people will listen to what you're saying, because I've noticed as a supervisor, TSS, before I retired, the people that was coming in, not to say anything wrong, but TS6, they have a whole different mentality. Like, they're not used to, like when I came in back in the day, a TSS told me something, oh my God, respect, great respect. But now the new people coming in, they don't care. And what's going to happen with transit is that they're going to have these new people coming in, they're going to be like, F it, I don't need this, I'm leaving. Because it does run like a plantation. It's horrible. And it was getting bad, and that's why I sat there one day and looked out the window at the flags, and I said, I'm not doing this no more. It's time for me to retire. I just got to go. I can't do it no more. I had my papers in my back pocket, and I left. That quick. I booked off and went downtown. It was done.
I don't blame you, sis.
Anyway, compliments I applaud you. And I follow you, and I think you're doing a fantastic job. And I do think that you should run for office because they need somebody and that has a vision and knows what's going on.
I agree.
So I will not take up no more time, but thank you for taking my call.
Thanks for calling in, sis. I appreciate you.
Okay, have a good night.
You too. See, I love it. I love when you got active members calling in, you got retirees calling in, you got people who don't work for transit calling in. But you heard what she said. When she had a baby in the 90s, I think she said 93, 94, they didn't have maternity leave at that time. And it boggles my mind because women been on this property for about 50-something years now. And in 2023, the MTA still act like women fell out of the sky. They are aliens. They don't know what they do. They don't know what a woman is. And it's funny because in today's time, people got different definitions of a woman. This whole place is like bizarre now. The whole world is like bizarre. It went crazy. But the fact that there wasn't maternity leave in the 90s, real maternity leave is not happening until 2023. And that's if we vote in this contract. And it's coming because of a stripped down version of paid family leave that the union administration allowed to happen. If there wasn't no paid family leave on the table, the woman still would not have the true maternity leave that they deserve, right? They still would not have it. And that's problematic. Now, I would love to ask the union administration, if there wasn't no paid family leave, would you still would have gotten the women the maternity leave that they have on? They probably go say, oh, yeah, we would have. Well, if you would have, why did you have to touch paid family leave in order for the women to get the 12 weeks? I mean, this is so easy. I see another call on the line, but I don't pick up numbers that don't come up with no call ID. I don't answer those type of calls unless you text me or something and say, hey, this is me, Tramel. Pick up my call, but I don't pick up those type of calls. Listen, I need you guys to donate to the platform. Why y'all not donating? I don't see nothing on YouTube. I don't see nothing on Cash App. Hit up that Cash App. $ Progressive Action 100. Hit it up. Throw something in there. Show your support. I don't know what's going on. Show your support. Throw something in the Cash App. What y'all think y'all doing over here? I've been on this stream for 2 hours and 17 minutes. I got a brace on my leg to keep my leg straight while I'm here. And I'm over here giving y'all the information, keeping y'all on point. The least y'all could do is hit up the Cash App, send a super chat on YouTube, do something. Let me get to the next caller. Caller 4611, you now live on Progressive Action TV. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, my name is Angela. I'm calling. I'm in Harlem. I'm a CTA.
Angela, CTA. How are you doing, and what's on your mind today?
Well, I'm pretty okay. I just came in. I seen that you was live, and I was like, let me just call in because I was talking to my girlfriend earlier. We were talking about the Trans America thing. I don't know if you like touch bases on that, but for me, it's like a real problem. And so earlier last year, I'm gonna say maybe the year before last, Trans America were calling around and asking people to like up their payments to get more premiums or whatever the case may be for the Trans America. So I was like, well, I don't, I'm not using it, but I got it just in case, it's good to have. However, at the time, my girlfriend was out on the 12-9, and she was only awarded 3 months for PTSD with Trans America. So I asked them, I said, well, why is it that you guys are only allowing 3 months when Transit allows us a year to be out for workers' comp on the 12-9? He says that your union made this agreement with them. So this is another thing that the union has done to actually, excuse my language, fuck us over. Because if Transit allows us 12 months, a year, to be out for 12-9 if they allow you 2 years to be out for an assault, why is it that something that we pay for monthly, half of us don't even use it and pay years into it, and then, God forbid something does happen and you need to use it, and it's, deemed a PTSD, you only get 3 months of service from someone that you've been paying years of your financial, your work income to.
Well, do you want me to answer that, or can I ask you what you think the reason is? Why you think the union made that deal?
Well, for me, I feel like they got some kind of, as I guess you guys say, like a kickback or some kind of money. It's how you say it. Peter pays for Paul in that round. I think I'm saying that correctly. So they got a gain from us losing something as far as that. And the guy on the phone having to have nerve to say, well, you guys milk it. So I'm like, you milking what? What could she possibly be milking? Well, PTSD, is not really. And so I had to cut him off. I said, what do you mean it's not really? First of all, you can't tell someone how to feel about seeing someone's mangled body part on a train track, or they hit the actual person or hit a coworker. You cannot sit there and tell me that someone can deem how long it takes for them to be mentally okay with that. If you get assaulted, you cannot tell anyone how long it takes for them to be mentally okay for that. There's no milking anything. That is a real thing. PTSD is a real thing. Any mental trauma is a real thing. It's not a time limit. It's people on disability that they get monthly checks from SSI because they have real trauma, some things that they've seen, things that they experience in life, that they have to, try to find a way to take medications or whatever they need to cope with the things that they have done with. And our union decided to make an agreement with these people that we pay our money to for a service that we really do need, because sometimes workers' comp don't give you your money, and that money would come in as a little help. It's not a lot of help, but, depending on what you got, it's some help to help you pay a bill here and there. And 3 months does not suffice for a 1 year or a 2 year you being out. That transit allows you to be out if they, award you the time or whatever they do to let you be out.
Now, this is the reason. I'm gonna explain to you why the union did that, right? So we gotta understand that this administration, the Stand United administration, Richie Davis, Tony Utano, John Samuelson, they are in bed with management. So you said you just came in. The earlier part of the show, I played the clip of Richie Davis saying that he wants to encourage workers to come to work more, right? And that's because the union made a deal with management in the contract called gain sharing. This gain sharing thing been in the contract, I think our past three contracts or maybe 2 contracts, where if our attendance overall improves, the union and management split money. So what the union decided to do was like, look, I'm in bed with management. It's clear in the contract. They have a agreement. If they get us to work more, that they would split money, right? Our union is not, this union administration and their ideology is not in the business of giving us mental health days, giving us more OTO, AVA days. They not in the business of having us spend less time or more time away from this job. They're in the business of having us be here as frequent as possible, right? So what they did was go to Transamerica and say, hey, we cannot no longer give people a year or 2 years for PTSD. If your sole injury is PTSD, they said, look, we got to knock it down to 3 months. After 3 months, they done, right? And this is who our union is. We had a caller come in and say that, Richie Davis, he's a conservative. He told me that he's a Republican. He told me that straight out himself. And their views and their actions are conservative views and actions. What union leader, think about this, what union leader in their right mind say, hey, I want you guys to come back. I want you guys to come to work more, right? You're a CTA, which means that you working out there with the public. You see crazy things. I'm quite sure a lot of your coworkers have been assaulted, sexually abused or whatever. Not abused, but you have homeless people, EDPs, pulling out their stuff in front of women, masturbating in front of women and things like that. All of that is going on. And our work conditions, they want us to come to work more instead of less. And one of those things where they ensuring that we come back to work more is this, they went to Transamerica and said, hey, no more a year, 2 years for PTSD. Knock it down to 90 days. We need these workers back to work because we in bed with management. So that's where that came from.
It's a very sad thing. I've been a cleaner. This is going to be my 9th year as a cleaner. I transitioned from traffic checker over to cleaner. And, again, I'm not a person that hate my job. I'm not a person that's 100% love my job. However, it pays the bills. I'm not, complaining about having the job. However, our work conditions, they suck. For cleaners, it's really bad. Our facility rooms are horrible. We share a lot of them with bus drivers and, regular, clerks and all that, things like that. We have to clean up after each other, that nature. But you really can't clean so much cleaning when the facility itself is nasty. So that's why we in those environments. Right now we have elevator people who lost their elevator jobs, and, they're feeling that they were sold out because they're no longer allowed to sit in the elevator. So a lot of things are going on in the station department, and it's sad because at the end of the day, I only have, like I said, the 9 years. I would need, I wouldn't say I would need, but I would hope that I wouldn't have to need to restrict a job, that I would need to sit somewhere for a certain period of time. Even we have cleaners that's pregnant. They're not doing anything to even help that as far as the future. Like you said, with women that's pregnant and things like that, you get the time, but even at the work conditions, for us, there's no restrictive duty job for a pregnant person here. The elders that have been here 25, 45, however many years they've been here, they're in those spots and they're secured in those spots. And so if you're pregnant and you're a cleaner, a female cleaner, and you come along, you don't even have somewhere to go. So you're out here pulling garbage and you're out here doing all these things. And it's hard. And, it's sad. We are looked at as like the bottom of the totem pole. But at the end of the day, cleaners contribute a lot. And I say all the time, we're social workers because we got to listen to people, right? We got to counsel. We got to sit here and be the director. We got to help them use their phone. We got to sit here and clean up after them. It's so much that cleaners do besides just what we are appointed to do, because a lot of us are just human beings in nature, and we do help, because if you're in that situation, you want someone to help you as well. And at this point, we should not be making what we are making. We should not be at this point. So this contract is shit, and it's shit across the board for everybody. And I hope people do understand that this is not something that we should allow and go for and actually do vote this contract no. I lost my mother to this job, so I know if she was here, she would be like, hell no, I'm not accepting this. It's not right. And she would be almost transitioning out to retire. So I know she wouldn't actually sit here and be like, this is okay. It's not. And they could do better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I hear a lot of energy in your voice. So I really hope that you get involved with the fight on the front line. It sounds like you have a lot of energy and you're ready to kick some behind. So I would love to see you on the front line joining this fight.
And I'm always, I want to. I'm not at work right now. I'm out. But when I get back to work, I'm done with this. I can't take it. And again, like I said, with my mom, when she was alive and she was here, station department knew we wasn't having it. We got to see our books. We got to do these things. We got these books this time. We didn't get an email. We didn't get a text. We didn't get anything to see these books. And our books are shit. We got handed a raw deal. And it's sad. It's sad. So when I get back to work, it's going to be hell to pay. Because it's just sad that we're going through this. And it's supposed to be progression, not digression. And we're not making it. If my kids want to become in transit, I wouldn't even allow them to, because there's nothing promising here for them.
That's a fact. Well, I'm going to tell you this. You don't have to wait till you come back to start the fight, sis. You could hit me up behind the scenes. I could line you up with some of my teammates if you really want to get involved, and we can make it happen. I'm not at work and I'm still fighting.
Definitely.
I mean, so
definitely. I'll take the email.
You said you want my email?
And I will. Yes, please.
progressiveaction100@gmail.com.
100@gmail.com. Okay.
Yeah. So send me an email and let's start brainstorming and let us know what the problems are in your department, and let's just try to figure out how we can fight back together.
Definitely.
All right.
All right, have a good night.
Thank you. Thanks for calling in. People, you do not have to be at work. You do not have to be at work to join this fight. You could join in this fight is sharing out videos, putting coworkers on. When we having rallies, be there. Get involved with the fight. And she brought up a good point because I pointed this out plenty of times. The union is in bed with management when it comes to availability, without a doubt. They are in bed with management. They are trying to help management get us to work. Must I remind you? Let me see what video this is. Listen to this video again. Check it out. Richie Davis trying to get people to work.
What we did get in there is people are supposed to come to work 261 days a year. If right now they can come to work 196. If I was able to encourage you somehow to come to work 5 more days, right? Like I'm gonna go around making sure we clean the swim room, redo the swim room outside, have lactation. All this is in the contract. You can look at it, it's in there. On the pilot program in November, we're gonna pick 5 locations, not depots, 5 locations of boroughs, and start redoing them, renovation, changing the lighting, changing the depots, to try to make you feel like you want to be here. Because if I was to get it from 196 to 5 more days to 501, for each day from 202, the transit saved $16 million, they'll give me back not me in my pocket, but $8 million for each day to use back towards the contract right now. So I wanted a selfish motive. I wanted 100%.
That's your president with a conservative point of view saying that I want to get my members to work more. I mean, I don't know. Is he thinking? You know why members take off? Members take off because transit deny our days, so we have to find a way, right? The disrespect, the low morale. He thinks that changing the lights in the crew room will be a reason for someone to come to work more. No. What's the sense of having a new room when the MTA is not training their supervisors on how to really supervise, how to really manage, how to talk to people? Don't think because that our crew rooms is dirty is the reason why we not coming to work. We not coming to work. And people don't want to be here because the lack of respect that supervision and management and this company as a whole have for the workers. We just seen them, right? And I didn't upload this picture, but I put up this picture on online the other day. They said that they ribbon cut it. Maybe I need to bring it up, man. This is just a long show. Let me see if I could bring it up. If I got the picture. I just want you guys to see this right here. Let me load this into the program. Because this is exactly what Richie Davis is talking about. Yo, if we clean up the crew rooms and we do this and we do that, you know, workers go come to work more. I mean, he has absolutely no clue how this stuff works. Absolutely no clue. I want you guys to check this picture out. This is a room that they said they redid, right? They renovated this room. This is a renovated room, right? A renovated room in which still is dirty. Still is filthy, right? Let's look at this one. Look at all this dirt right here. This is a renovated room, people. This is the amount of respect that this company have for us. They are saying they renovated the room, it's clean and this and that, and it's still filthy with dirt. this is the level of respect that they have for us. It is sad and it is sickening. And it's even more sickening when you got a union president who say, I want to get you to work more in these crazy conditions with these unsafe work environment, these disrespectful supervisors and managers. Let me get to the next caller. Caller 8775, you now live on Progressive Action TV. What's your name? Where you calling from?
How you doing? This is Michael. We spoke a couple of weeks back. Local 1056 ATU. I'm retired recently, and I've been listening to your show a lot and speak the truth. And about those numbers, he was talking about 260 days. Not 260 days of work, because 52 times 5 is 260. But you got 25 vacation days, making it 235. Then you got another 12 AVA days, making it 223. Plus, you get like a 12. If you use just 12 sick days and you're a bad boy or girl, you're down to 211. Now they're throwing into that people who are taking FMLA, people who are out on workers' comp, and that's how they're coming up with those numbers of 190 days or whatever. Those are all bullshit numbers that they're throwing at you.
But don't you find it? Let me ask you a question. Isn't it bizarre that you have a union president saying that he want to get workers to work more?
Well, like I said, I'm a smaller union in Queens. We represent Queens bus drivers and Queens mechanics. There's about 2,000 of us. And I speak directly to the president all the time. That's the benefit of having a smaller union. And the number one complaint that they have when they're negotiating is availability. And that is the number one problem. And I don't know how to say it, but the shit rolls downhill. So when the president says it, if he can provide availability and makes him look good, he can get other deals done and other things done. But that's what they're pushing for, availability. Availability. That's the number one. But in our union, because we're allowed to tweak things a little bit after TW100 takes this, hope they don't take it. We know how greedy people can get.
Mm-hmm.
Retirees are against it. But, the future people who are going to retire aren't thinking about their future. They're just thinking about the money in their pocket now. They're not thinking about their future. But one thing they're having, if you notice on the test-taking side, the test-taking from bus operators, which is where I'm from, is open continuously because they cannot fill the positions. They cannot keep them filled. They cannot fill them. They're retiring faster than they can fill them. They're getting sick. They're getting injured. They're getting beat up on these buses. The buses are destroying their bodies. So they're trying to do a bonus. Like if you go into school buses, they give you like a $5,000 bonus to sign on to the school bus. They're trying to get this same thing now for bus operators in New York City Transit. They're trying to tweak in our contract on the side, because we have a little deal on the side, and I think it's a great idea. But what about retaining the people you already have? What are you doing for the people that you already have? These people, especially the frontline people who got sick and were out there every day and got COVID once, twice, watched their friends die. I went to, on a Friday, my name's Mike, and I have a friend Mike, we started together. We both went out on Friday night sick with COVID. He was dead by Monday.
Wow.
That shit messes you up.
Mm-hmm.
You see stuff like that. That just messes you up.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this. Why do you think that the MTA is having a problem retaining workers?
Well, it's the abuse. You come to this. Listen, in 20 plus years I was out there, I only had one incident where one customer spit on me. I was able to de-escalate every situation. You got supervisors who forget where the hell they come from. They get a badge and a promotion, and they get an issue. They get brainwashed. I tell them it's like Darth Vader. They go onto the dark side. You see them at Zarega. You see them at Zarega, and they'll start telling, "Oh, Mike, did you know this? And did you know that? That your time at the end of the time is the supervisor's time, not your time." I'm like, "Yeah, right. You keep believing that while I'm walking away from you going to the bathroom." You know what I'm saying? They lose it. They really, really lose it.
Yeah. I mean, this. Listen, the ballots is out right now, right? I mean, I don't know what's taking. I don't know nobody that got a ballot so far. It's important that members vote no. So it's very important that members vote no. This is your second week calling in, I believe, saying that to some degree. And you always come in with. I like the angles that you always come in when you call in, because you always shine the light a different perspective, and it's crystal clear as to what you're saying, and I appreciate you for that.
But my other thing is now, going back to 2005 strike, I know you weren't even born yet, according to the job. That strike was all about not selling out the unborn and protecting the retirees. That's when we started contributing to our health benefit, so that when we retire, we would have health benefits. And now they want to take it away, and they want to negotiate it away. This is something we've been paying for 15, 18 years now. And they're going to take it away from us? I mean, come on. I mean, you know, it's wrong. It's wrong. I mean, just like they shoved this tier 6 down, you all got to fight this tier 6. Like, now that you guys are supposedly 51% of the union, tier 6, you know, going on strike ain't no fun. But try to pick a warm time of the year. I'll tell you that much. We did it in December 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. It was cold out there. Don't let anyone tell you it's fun. But it's that this new generation of bus operators, everything, they don't come to union meetings. They carry everything on their back in their backpack. They carry all this stuff, and this is how they operate. They only worry about themselves, what's in their pocket. They're not worried about the next person. It's all about them. And a union is not about one person. Union is about everybody trying to get the best deal, working together.
I agree. Well, thanks for calling in again. I definitely appreciate your perspective, and it's always good to hear from you.
Thank you. And keep up the good work.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
And tell them the truth. Thank you.
I love when he calls in. I have good conversation with him. Now, we was talking about Richie Davis, you know, him being a conservative. And I'm reading a book right now that's speaking to all of that. It's called, I'm not gonna tell y'all what the name of the book is. Y'all gotta join my I have a Facebook book group. Maybe y'all need to join that. Progressive, I forgot what the name of it is. I forgot what my own group is. But I want to show y'all this section in the book that speaks exactly to, matter of fact, y'all could just write in the comments who y'all think it is. Accordingly, black conservatives who place their personal advancement above the welfare of their race often gain significant personal and financial benefits, recognition, and access to power. They are anointed by whites as leaders and touted as role models. In political and social situations, a black conservative is closely akin to Sambo and Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin. In a historical context, a Sambo was black America's worst nightmare. The stereotypical Sambo was more than a minstrel man, a buffoon, and a plantation darky. Sambo represented the extraordinary success of social control, which was the ultimate goal of a slavery conditioning process that transplanted a white mindset into a black personality. I mean, that describes that man to a T. Goddamn. See, they don't read books, man. They not even trying to, like, they think that when they come and try to sell us out, like the sister said, you know, we've been getting sold out. This ain't the first time we've been getting sold out. Whenever they sell us out, they acting like they innovating the way they sell us out. They not innovating the way they sell us out, right? Richie Davis never did anything. I don't care how many times he was elected. You can't bring 10 people from his department to say that he kicked management's behind defending him. Not you can't name 10 people as much time as he have. Can't name 10 people, right? That's why I made this video right here. I'm gonna play this video real quick. I was being fun. You, like I said, you got to make some jokes out of this sometime. But this is Jason chasing Richie Davis. Jason chasing him. Look at this. I tell you, I gotta play that again. Look at that. Look at this. This is you gotta have fun with this sometimes. Richie, I know you watching, man. It's all fun and games. I mean, who runs like that? Yo, this is going to be around forever, y'all. This is going to be around forever. He done messed up. I'm gonna put him running. I'm gonna put him in marathons. I'm gonna put him running after buses. I'm gonna put him in chasing the bulls. Oh man, I'm telling you, you gotta have some fun with this sometime, y'all. Gotta have some fun. But look, I've been live for almost 3 hours, man. 3 hours. What's good is about this is that I wear something called a leg extension, which straighten my leg out. And when I'm doing the show, it keeps my mind off of the leg extension because sometimes it gets painful. But when I'm here running my mouth, it distracts me. You know what I'm saying? So it's a win-win for all of us. Everybody get information, and I get to be online and speak to random people about the good talk, right? But what I need for everyone to do, on a serious note, yeah, Nuke said PA Book Club. I knew it was called something. I knew it was called something. Somebody said he's chasing the ice cream truck. The people, I'm gonna have him doing all of that, chasing the ice cream truck and marathons. I have him a whole bunch of stuff. I'm gonna have some fun with it. But I need for everyone to donate to the platform. Please donate to the platform via Cash App. Cash App is $ Progressive Action 100. If you're watching on YouTube, donate via the Cash App. You could do it through Super Chat. You could donate via Super Chat. If you're watching on Twitter, donate to the Cash App. The Cash App is Progressive Action 100. Donate, donate, donate. That's how we keep the platform alive. We add new things. We bring new equipment, new services, just for people to call in. It's not free. That costs money every month. And for me to keep that going, we got to keep it going through donations. Because y'all know the MTA is not paying me right now. So, it is what it is. It's part of the war. This is part of the war. I'm not mad at it. This is part of the war. But I need for my people to support and donate. Once again, $ Progressive Action 100. You could become a member on YouTube. If you see the join button, join. It's all about supporting the platform. If you're watching on Facebook, subscribe to the Progressive Action TV page. I think it's not much. You're not going to miss it. Support the people who support you. I'll catch you guys later next week for the next live stream. We will have our ballots bought in, and we're going to encourage a no vote. Vote no. This union administration is lying to us. They don't have our best interests. They trying to be deceitful, and they are fooling some people. I feel sorry for those people. They are fooling some people. But I do this show so we can educate each other to show that they are not being honest. They have not provided any type of receipts for anything that they're talking. They've been saying that the PBA, 10, 12 hours, it was a concession. I just showed you guys 2-3 times during this show that it was not a concession. These guys are lying to you. They are lying to you. They are lying to you. We must combat all these lies. Every single lie we must combat, without a doubt. Once again, donate to the platform, $ Progressive Action 100. That's the Cash App. I'll catch you guys later next week. Peace.